surprised at how much I like the seaweed.
Right? The seaweed's good. We are one. Yeah, I mean, I trust the turtle enough where I was like, yeah, I'll try.
You were kind of
When you were talking about drinks earlier, what did you have in mind?
Like I
Oh, darn it. Can you get me something too, please, if you're getting something? Because the truffle, it's coating. Why can't I do this?
What did you say? What's diet soda? Can I do that, please?
Yeah, all that. The same.
He would just yell into the microphones as soon as he went live, which is great.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Oops. Didn't mean to hit that.
All right.
Beautiful.
Sorry, everybody. Okay. Can't eat those as much as I want to. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, episode 926. The Fido Podcast, or maybe I'm supposed to say Fido. I don't know. Fido. I will read since there's snacking going on.
Oh, no.
You'll read?
These bags are so fragile.
They are, yeah. And I always tear them when it's where it says to tear them, and it's never a good idea. Fido, this Pokemon is smooth and moist to the touch. Yeast in Fido's breath includes fermentation in the Pokemon's vicinity.
Good lord. And it's what?
Stay away from my vicinity.
It's 1 foot tall. It's 24 pounds, male and female. Its category is puppy, and it has the own tempo ability. The Pokemon sticks to its own tempo, preventing it from becoming confused or being affected by intimidate.
Amazing.
End of Pokemon section. There you go. It's me. It's Nicky Hill. How you doing?
I'm okay.
It is Deux Michaels. How are you ukuing?
Uku.
It is Josh Grobot. Josh, my friend from college days. How are you doing? How's life?
Did you know you can smash that subscribe button?
Wow, Josh.
Is that upgrade we've been hearing about?
Great. That's version 4.0. That's way more advanced than I expected. Thank you, Josh. That's great.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy. And we got George, of course. George, how are you doing?
But George, no.
George, we watched again the lime TikTok video this week about the ladies singing about limes. I really need you to see this.
If you're happy and you lime your hands.
All right, lime in your hands.
Lime
That's
in
true
your
for you.
hands.
As
You
I
know
said,
what they say when life hands you limes, you hold them for eternity.
that's a
What a
saying.
really great story.
The saying we all know and have heard for years now. As I said last week, Mom Brain is not here this week. She is watching Nintendo's dog as Nintendo is out and about for a few days, enjoying her birthday.
Oh my gosh, Fido.
It's waiting for you to say something.
Oh, June babies unite?
Yeah, because we're in May and she's enjoying her June birthday.
Oh, yeah. What the heck? Why is... sorry, I'm looking at the soundboard here. I can't chew gum and talk at the same time.
I was looking specifically at Deux because Nintendo and Deux share the same birthday. It was Deux first. I want to point that out. But yes, apparently she saw some deal for a trip. So I forget where they are. It doesn't matter. But the deal was for now. And she's like, well, we'll go now. And that'll be my birthday thing. So that's what they're doing. But I was like, come on.
Kids these days, they can't even have... It used to be celebrate for the day.
Yep.
Then it used to be celebrate for the week. And then it became celebrate for the month. And now people are celebrating
Whenever they
multiple
want.
months.
Here's the worst part. She went on this birthday trip for her June 12th birthday on the day of someone else in the family's actual birthday.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Wait, who
I
had
mean,
a
it
birthday?
doesn't matter, but yeah, that
Right.
was really funny. Huh?
Who had a birthday? Your dad?
My cousin's girlfriend. My cousin's
I didn't know.
partner.
Family yet.
Oh, they're family.
Oh.
Like they've been together for a very long time.
If
Oh, I
my
didn't
grandmother
know.
had wheels, she would have been a bike.
She is a wonderful. I was talking to her because it's her birthday, but we were talking about books and games and stuff. So, happy
man.
birthday to the person. I won't say your name.
So do you think Jordan Peterson is buying a birthday vacation for himself early as well and might meet up with your sister?
What rules? If I know two people that'll definitely get along, it's my sister and Jordan Peterson. Yep, they share everything in common. They both think exactly like Nintendo. If that's not true, speak up. Just speak up. Oh, I'm sorry, nothing. Hello, Walt Dingbat. Hello, Nico Darunia and Radical Defect and Gecko Kitsune Drake SD J-Bug Super Sanchez Roth. Boy, we got a who's who in here, plus some non-regulars. Joe Shabadoo. There is a nice picture of Fido. It's got to be Fido. I mean, I know it's Doe related, but how else would you say Fido? It's supposed to be a dog. Hello, Alternate Liz and Backseat Studios and E17 Pet and Zikamudo and whoever else I didn't see. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Saturday. It is, albeit, hi Malakalo, albeit a little hot. It is a nice Saturday.
You know, it's not even that hot, but it feels like it is.
It's hotter than you would expect for May.
Also, my AC doesn't work in my car.
That's a real bummer. I have had a car where the AC didn't work, and it was not fun.
In the
But that was-
2000s, I feel like I'm living in the 90s.
Hi, Vachi. Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was in the 90s. My drive to college car didn't have AC, so I was sitting. You know, I was sitting on the. I look back on it fondly now, like sitting on the highway in traffic, sun pouring in, listening to
beep, beep.
Stern on the way, and I was like, this is the dream, because I'm terrified of driving. So sitting in traffic where you're hardly moving, great for me. Listening to Stern, got nowhere else to be. I was like, this is wonderful. Plus, I was going to college to see my friends. Me, you, JTS, go have some hash browns in the cafeteria together. Oh man, those were. I look back on that moment in time where it's like we're out of high school,
So we went to second high school.
and it was like we were in second high school, but it was also like you had more autonomy than ever. I was like, I could just go walk around and do what I want to go to the cafeteria. I'm going to go get something to eat, and we would go to our whatever that was English class, and then go have hash browns in the cafeteria, and I'd go sit on the deck upstairs and play Boktai, and oh my god, those were the days.
It's pretty funny
I saw
going to a community college that has like a cafeteria and services like that, because like you could just leave.
You could, and there are multiple places right there
Yeah.
to go eat, but those hash browns were really good. They were like
The
little quarter size, like circular hash browns. That,
Oh.
man,
Probably
great.
like the size of what Dunkin' Donuts is, but Dunkin' Donuts adds all that seasoning. You don't need all that seasoning. All you need is salt.
that's right. I would say 45%. I went to school for the hash browns. 45% I went because of you guys, and then what's that leave me? 5 more percent.
Numbers.
That was for class.
10
Clearly, it wasn't
10%.
math class. 10%. Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
No, it was probably 5% for
45
class.
and
and
45
then what's
is
that
90.
other?
And
Yeah, what's
10% is class. Yeah.
I still think 5%
Generous.
is class. What else?
Yeah.
What's the other 5?
5% was stealing a banner and a clock. How
The
about
other
that?
5 was just because you love sitting in your car without the air conditioning.
The
I have
other-
no problem with that. Honestly.
The other 5% was looking forward to going to Best Buy after to buy anime.
Oh,
There you go.
but my the seats are leather,
Mhm.
so like you're kind of basting in it, and again, even that I'd be
I'm sweating a little bit.
oh, I would be okay with that, but driving around with my dog, like she needs, like I want things to be cooler for her.
Yeah.
I don't want to cool her off, which you don't really cool off necessarily with the windows down, but then it's loud and like really windy for her, so I feel bad.
We all have our neurotic behaviors with our pets. Like when Piper goes to eat, if she just sits down to eat, like I was getting the podcast ready today, I put out her food. She sat down to eat, and she usually takes like 1 or 2 bites and goes away and comes back later, but she stayed there to eat. And I was like, I don't want to bother her. So I just sat on the couch while she sat there and ate, because I'm like, if I walk by, she'll get disturbed. And blah, blah. So yeah, we're all insane. And also when I put the AC on, I'm like, I
She's
hope it's not too
playing
cold
you.
for her. I never stop to think like, she has fur. She's probably much warmer than I am, and she can go sit in a window upstairs, but whatever. J-Buck says, my college had breadsticks so good, I think my record was 32 in a sitting. Really regretted that the bread expanded later. Yeah, it's true. Big breadstick
Soft
days.
bread,
Those are the
or
days.
crunchy bread? I guess probably
Breadsticks,
soft.
It's got to
right?
be soft, yeah. 32 crunchy breadsticks.
no,
You
well-
can put those down, no problem.
Well, that's. I mean, No,
Soft,
still be-
Saybuck says.
what were the ones that are like they have the sesame seeds on them?
Stella Dora.
They are stellar. 30. How many? 30 what?
32.
32 of those things would be hurting too.
When you would, but with a soft breadstick, I'm thinking bigger
Yeah.
and it's going to be rougher. I'm sure can attest to this at Pizza Hut when you get the breadsticks. If you get like a family order of breadsticks, you're done before your pizza comes out. You're like, I can't eat anymore. This like those breadsticks are incredibly filling, but they're just so good.
Yeah, you have to try to cut yourself off because you know the pizza's coming.
It's the Parmesan
Exactly.
seasoning.
Ice Dilbert, if I didn't say hello. Perfect. This is perfect. Talking about breadsticks when Fido is the Pokemon. Radical Defect says I literally
And
cannot
dogs.
order pizza without that's true. Without also getting breadsticks. The sticks are the whole point. My friends call me the breadstick smut, except it's the inappropriate word where you change the M. Oh, I get it. Yes, the breadstick slut. We can say that. Hey, the bread. Listen, there's nothing wrong with being a breadstick slut. There's nothing wrong with being a slut. If you're a self-identified slut, go for it. Somebody calling you slut, inappropriate. But if you're like, I'm the breadstick slut, then you take that name and you run with it. It's a badge of honor.
So Pizza Hut, I feel like the breadsticks
Pizza slut.
are pretty close.
I've seen lots of shirts with that at the Jersey Shore.
They don't really
Yes, of
put the seasoning on the pizza crust, right?
They can, but they traditionally no.
Here's a concept: pizza crust bites, where you don't have all the cheese and stuff, but you just they're like mini breadsticks.
Is it
Basically,
stuffed?
they can come stuffed.
They Pizza Hut, take the idea and run with it. That's $1 billion idea. Right
Yeah,
there.
baby.
That is fantastic.
I mean,
Uh,
they do it all the time anyway with everything else, but like instead of like pretzel bites, seasoned.
That's all the pizza places. It's like, how do we
But
take
not-
the three
but-
things we do
so here's
and
the thing.
somehow make it look like it's
But
new?
here's the thing: Wetzel's Pretzels, probably Auntie Anne's. They already have pretzel like pizza bites.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that, right? We're talking about breadsticks,
Mhm.
and so, but they're not like none of the cheese and everything else. It's just the bread, like small little
Yeah.
bread bites.
Yeah.
So we take the breadsticks that you get
It's-
from Pizza Hut and you just cut them into
kind
thirds.
of. But like, I want to label it as like the pizza crust because that becomes like a thing, like pizza crust bites.
So
you
what are
know?
you saying? How do you make it then? If it's not the crust of the pizza, and
You
it is
make
the
a bunch of
breadsticks-
pizzas and you cut off the crust. It's a lot of waste, but we want a good product. We want to be
I
true
don't know if
here.
they want to do the waste part though. They're looking to make more money, not waste money.
Eat the pizza.
Oh, you don't got to tell me. I'm gonna eat pizza. Well, Pizza Hut, there you go. We gave you some ideas. Although Pizza Hut is killing it right now.
We gave you some
They're,
ideas, and then I complicated it for no reason. But
Their
go for it.
$7, whatever it's called, My Hut box is apparently a big hit for them. So
I'm sorry, this is a family show. We can't be talking about your hut box here.
what?
Yeah, we only talk about breadstick sluts here. all
Uh-huh,
right?
that's right. Pizza sluts, breadstick sluts. Yeah, they're My Hut box, which I said before was a personal pan pizza with either fries or buffalo wings, your choice, for $7, which is a fantastic deal. So there you go. Go buy some pizza. Moving on. I don't have too much to talk about in the beginning of the show as far as random topics. I'll cover the Patreon as usual. I do have a follow-up. Two things. I'll do the site-related thing first. First things first. Thank you for joining the Patreon. We've been getting new subscribers on Patreon at a pretty steady tick. Where are they coming from? I don't know. But I know our X followers have gone up. I know our Threads followers have gone up. So some story somewhere took off, and I don't pay attention. I just do the work. But thank you for the supporters of the Patreon, because again, I don't plug that anywhere really other than right here. So thank you for joining up. I appreciate it. Also, thank you for following on Threads. If you don't want to support X or you don't like X, whatever the case may be, you can find us on Threads at GoNintendo Threads. I want to say thank you to everybody because we just broke 1,000 followers over on Threads. So again, I don't really promote that anywhere. I don't even think there's a button on the site for it, to tell you the truth. So if you find it, congratulations. But thank you for the 1,000 followers over there. We do there exactly what we do on X. Just, I would say it's a friendlier environment. So you can follow there if you want. What?
I joined Threads just because like it comes up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like you get a little taste of something. It's like teasers and it's clickbait basically through Facebook. I joined, and I think my algorithm is just things I don't want to see anyway. And but I was talking to Deux this week. The thing that gets me about Threads is the amount of things that come up. Like I don't really spend time on it, so maybe I'm threading wrong. But I'm all in knots over this. Get it?
Woo!
But I lost my
The
train
joke, yep,
of
the
thought.
Lost
Yep.
his train.
Got to get this joke out.
No, like the majority of the posts that I see are very vague statements about something that the people are not actually explaining. It's just a statement about something.
So
Like, sorry to see
it's the
that,
internet.
bro. Yeah, but like I said to do, it makes me think of like vague AOL Instant Messenger status updates or something,
Ah, yes.
where
from
you
back
just
in the
say
day.
something and like let people run wild with thoughts. Because
Had a really tough day today. ... And everybody's
Yeah.
like, what happened?
Or
Is
like-
everything okay?
or like,
what went
well,
wrong?
that really sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you talking? Is this
Some
personal?
days
Is
things
this
just
life?
don't come together.
This is not what I was I was
Yep.
thinking I'd see this today when I woke up. Like,
have you ever done that on Facebook where it's like, it's like this day in Facebook history?
I
Again,
probably
I'm hardly
have.
ever on Facebook, but when I go on for work, those things come up, and I'll look at birthdays and that, and I'll have posts where I'm like, this is so embarrassing. Why would I say stuff like this?
Yeah.
But 20 years ago, whatever. It is what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Threads.
I thought about that too.
Have you? Barry's only talking about sluices on Threads. Have you tried following accounts that have things that interest you?
I didn't know I could follow things.
I don't believe you.
I
first
no
of all.
the main reason I got TikTok in the beginning was I'd see ads or whatever for it. Like you guys would share a TikTok, and then you know how if you don't have TikTok, you would open the TikTok and then it would go to like you can scroll through a bunch of different videos, but it would only show you the first few seconds of it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, fine, I'm gonna get TikTok because I want to see where some of these videos go.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this. Like I'm seeing like that clickbait, and I'm a sucker, and so
I know on Instagram, for a while there, it was like your friends want to follow you on Threads. I'm like, no, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't even know what Threads is. Are you kidding me?
Threads are.
Threads are, or Threads the app is,
No.
or what Threads are.
They've never threaded their whole lot. I don't know. It's funny because it's like a beauty thing too. Where you like thread your eyebrows. So
That
like,
is true. Eyebrow threading.
Yeah.
One of the last great things
Oh,
you could do
and
at the local mall before it
that's-
closed.
that might be why they call it threads. Because you say things that raise people's eyebrows.
Well, I think it's more like when you look at things,
No.
when posts are connected,
Yeah.
it has like a thread that runs. You can see
I
like a
know.
little blah, blah, blah,
No,
but
just-
maybe.
It's
So,
definitely
yes.
the eyebrow
For
thing.
those of you who are on Threads and following, thank you very much. I would love to do something different on Thread. Like I want to give the regular X/Twitter experience, but I would love to do something different. But to tell you the truth, I'm just so busy. I don't know what to tell you. At some point, I would like to. I'd still provide all the regular news stuff, but it doesn't really kill me to do 1 or 2 posts that are special to Threads every day. No, so I should look forward to doing it. Maybe a poll. Can you do polls on Threads? I think you can now. Speaking of internet and all that old stuff and America Online and all that, ICQ just announced that they are sunsetting. It's over for ICQ. For anybody who is still using it,
Wow.
it's going away.
I had to pause for a second when you said that because I was like, wait, ICQ, and then
Yeah.
man, it all came back.
They just recently said they're officially closing. Is what I would say to that. ICQ was my go-to for a very, very long time until everybody started to shift to AOL Instant Messenger. I always liked ICQ a little bit more. I don't know why, but
I honestly don't remember it. I it rings a bell, but it's a tiny bell.
my relationship with Mom Brain really like started blooming over ICQ.
Is that where you could first send dick pics? Is that?
Oh no, we've had that technology for a long time before ICQ. But yeah, we talked a lot on ICQ back in the day, and then moved over to America Online, and now we talk.
What does
in
ICQ
person.
stand for? It's a real question.
Really? I have no idea.
I've
Look
seen
it up.
everything.
Let's find out together. Now that the thing is closing, let's find out what it means. Or is
I've
it just
seen
or does it just mean like I seek you, as in like I am seeking you out to talk to you? That's what I always took it as, but maybe it stands for something.
That's what everyone's saying.
Oh, the chat is saying I seek you. Yeah. But does it really not mean anything? That's what it is. Backseat Studio says I see
Q,
as in Star Trek Q.
Oh, I thought QAnon.
Oh, long before they were around. You're right. They saw it coming all those years ago, and now they're
Do I have
closing
to?
because QAnon's doing great, better than ever. All right. So thank you for the thread support. It is much appreciated. And the Patreon support, as I said. Now, the other thing I want to talk about. I got your emails. I saw your YouTube comments. I got your personal messages. I saw the X's tweets. I know the Doctor Who conversation went far and wide. So yes, I've heard your everythings. But I have excellent news. I watched the latest episode of Doctor Who yesterday. Just came out yesterday. I'm very happy to say I legitimately liked it. I would say it was a very good episode. Now, does it matter that Doctor Who was barely in it? I don't know. But this yesterday's episode, if I saw that as my first episode, I'd be like, oh, there's something to this show. The episode was a very enjoyable episode. Mysterious, made you think about some things, unanswered questions, sentimental. It was a very good episode. So give that episode a 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. So there you go. Back to stories. Hi, Blood Ocean. So yes, as I said, I am not giving up on Doctor Who. Watched yesterday's episode and was very pleasantly surprised. So that's what, episode 5 of this season we had, or episode 4 of this season. We got one that I liked. I saw the preview for next week and I was like, I don't know, but I'll be watching it.
So you prefaced this with you heard far and wide people's opinions of what you thought.
Yes, there was
I didn't
much
hear about this.
discussion. You're not watching Doctor Who. So yeah, there was a lot, not like angry, just, people are very passionate about Doctor Who. So they were sharing their thoughts on the episode that I really didn't like. I haven't liked this season at all, but last week's episode I really didn't enjoy. So comments on that episode in particular, comments on the writer for the show, comments on Doctor Who in general, and the new Doctor and this new girl, a whole bunch of stuff. But nobody was mean, honestly. So that was good.
But it colored your perception of the newest episode. So now you like it because you're sick and tired of hearing people complain to you?
If anybody knows me, it's that I kowtow to public opinion. So yes, I knew I should have told the story in reverse. And as I started, I was like, dude's going to get me for this. And here we are.
I was just asking. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it before we have another X Twitter spat on our hands.
No spats at all. When I talk about stuff on a podcast, SD, I will do numerical ratings just for the convenience of the listeners. So yes, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Would I consider watching any of the older reboot episodes just for comparison? J-Bug, I would, yes. After this season is over, I'm on the treadmill every day and I'm walking and I got time to kill and I'm always watching something. So yes, I would very much consider watching older episodes. I've gotten plenty of recommendations from people. I've gotten recommendations on specific seasons and arcs. So I got stuff written down in my notes to go explore. So at some point I will, yes. But there you go. I made it.
Did you
I
used
liked
to
an episode
watch?
of Doctor Who.
I missed all this conversation. Did
Did
you
I used to
ever?
watch
Did
Doctor
you ever
Who?
watch Doctor Who?
My parents watched when I was a kid. It was on the TV. I didn't sit down to watch it, but I've seen bits and pieces.
I've never watched it, but I've only heard some. I'd heard some recommendations, like the Blink episode or Don't Blink episode. I thought it was
I don't know. Yeah, not familiar to me. I'm
Uh,
sure people in the chat will know, but
where statues like come alive when you don't look at them.
I do know that episode. You're right. I didn't know the name of it. I've seen pieces of that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's like a really
Seen an
really
episode,
popular
or I've
one.
seen snippets about an episode with Van Gogh that people really like. Something about Van Gogh.
Vincent, Vinny, how's he doing
Oh,
these
Vinny, yeah.
days?
I gotta watch the episode. I don't know. But yes, yesterday's episode, it had like some whimsy to it. It had a mysterious story that kept you like hooked through the whole episode because you were like, "What's going on here?" had some serious aspects to it. I just liked it. It was a story where you were like, I want to understand what's happening here. I'm intrigued. So it was good. But again, like I said, the doctor is in it in the beginning, maybe like the first 2 minutes, and the end, maybe the last 2 minutes. It focuses on its companion. But it was good. It was very enjoyable.
A Dr. Sandwich.
So I liked it. We did it, people. Moving on. Dude, did you know that GoNintendo has a Patreon? And you can join that Patreon for
$1.
$1. Thank you, Billy. Here's what I talked about on Patreon this week. Game genres you just can't get into. You have a mental block. You have a gameplay block. You just aren't into them. I was looking to talk to people about the genres they just cannot break through with.
The video game genre for me.
For me, it is without a doubt like management games, resource management games, or like, so let's say like Diner Dash or Stardew Valley, and then also tower defense games. I can play them. I just don't like them. They make me uncomfortable. They're not enjoyable to me. They make me nervous all the time. So those are the genres that just don't do it for me. I will never not try one of those games, but
Is Animal Crossing a management game?
It is, but nothing matters. Like no one's up your ass about anything.
Things matter in Stardew Valley?
Well, yeah, you gotta like harvest crops and stuff, and you gotta like take care of things. In Animal Crossing, it's like, hey, pay me these bells or don't. Who gives a crap? It's like, Animal Crossing is very relaxing. You make it as management intensive as you want, and if you don't, what's the worst that happens? Some weeds pop up in your town. So, and then tower defense, obviously, you have to lay out stuff specifically to protect your whatever, and it stresses me out too much.
Your
Because
Pizza
when the
Hut
waves
box?
come in, there's nothing you can do. You just watch what you've done, and you're like, well, I've done a terrible job.
So you
here.
don't
you
couldn't like a Plants vs Zombies or anything like that too. That's
not
like
a fan.
tower
That's
defense.
tower defense, yeah. And like what's the big cooking game?
Cooking Mama?
No, I like that.
Burger Time?
No.
Overcooked.
Overcooked, yeah. Like that's resource management and time management. Oh no, like that's the worst of the worst for me. I get zero fun out of that, and that's playing alone. If I was playing with other people, no.
Are there ever any elements of like that in like a Mario Party or like a mini game thing?
Oh, mini game
So
is
mini
fine.
game,
It's
you're
over and
okay.
done. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Radical Defect says, how do you feel about the tower defense in Pikmin 4? It's not as bad because you are like still active. You're an active participant in it. So you're still out there doing things, but they're not my favorite mission. Yeah.
Ochi made it fun.
Yes.
Ochi made a big difference in
It
that.
does make a huge difference. You guys, genres you just can't get into or do not like no matter what you've done?
Man, no matter what.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that's low on my list, but I've still liked games from those genres. Like sports, I don't play a lot, but I've liked certain sports games, and I'm not big into the cinematic platformers, but there have been cinematic platformers that I've really loved.
For every another world, there is a Limbo.
Yeah, for
or an
me.
Inside. So yeah. People on Patreon said sports games a lot, and I was like, I don't have anything against sports games, but sports games nowadays are a lot more simulation focused, and all that's lost on me because I don't follow the sports. But like back in the 64 days, I would play like FIFA and Wayne Gretzky hockey because they had the real things, but they were still very like arcade based, and they were a lot of fun. So now, if I'm playing a sports game, it's a mini game sports game or a Nintendo first party sports game. And even then I'm not crazy about it. Like I'm just not big into sports games.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in sports games.
Unless it's Solitaire or Moncala. Those are sports.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's a game that I played, but I didn't play it this week, but I was gonna say something.
Well,
Rocket League
you
is
still
a
talk
sport.
about it. Yeah, I've never been able to get into like point and click Myst style games myself, but I think maybe I just haven't found the right one, but I don't know.
I mean, like more than half of those games is a walking simulator, so you're partially there.
That's
but
why I
yeah.
was thinking like I probably am mature enough to like, some of those adventures. I just haven't gotten into that style
like
of
the
game.
heavy puzzle stuff though, like Myst.
I mean, the
specifically.
puzzles in
'Cause
Myst are insane.
I feel like it's trace memory here. What's the name of it?
Another Code.
Another Code is kind of point and clicky.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, you're moving your character
You
around,
didn't
but
really
yes.
love it that much.
And I
usually.
played, Monkey Island, and that has a bunch of
right
that
there.
kind of
That's
stuff.
exactly
so
it. Yeah.
The old one, not the newest one, right? Did you play the newest one?
I played the old one. It
Yeah.
was the old one that was like remastered, so you could play it with the new graphics and new sound, or with the old style.
I heard
too.
the new one was excellent. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, I've never played the new one.
I believe Ron Gilbert is making a new Zelda-influenced game now, like a top-down Zelda-style game, which is definitely new for him. So,
that should be interesting.
but yeah, Secret of or any Monkey Island game. I mean, that's like an adventure game, but it certainly shares a similar thread with Myst and stuff. You're going around and you're solving puzzles. So I don't remember if you can die in Myst. I really don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And in Monkey Island games, you can die, but it just restarts your story somewhere.
And I think for me, there are some. I think the difference is games that have like material management in them, but are not material management games. Or whatever.
Yeah, I'm okay with managing resources that are just for you, but when it's like a timely matter, or like to take care of crops, or like keep a kitchen going, and like
remember,
when the timer counts down, you're in trouble. That I don't like.
I can't remember which game it was, but I bought it. It was like a survival game, and you start off in a house, and I don't know if there's even zombies or if it's just other people, but the concept, like the story concept, I was interested in, and I got right into it. And it was, you're in a house, a person is with you, they cannot move because they're injured. You need to go and get supplies, and like you have so many days
What is that
to
game?
like go, and it's side scrolling. So I thought it was like an interesting thing where it was going to play on. I think it still might play on like the dynamics of like interacting with people and stuff like that, and like some people you don't know who you can trust until something happens. I didn't get past like 2 days because I could not collect, because you had to kind of figure out what you need to be able to build things, and I was like, we're done.
Some game just came out now on Switch that is, from the day you start, you have 30 days to complete it. And at the end of the 30 days, no matter what, your save gets deleted. The game starts over. It's something about what happens in the game world. I don't know. I'm very intrigued by it, but I'm also nervous because I'm like, there are times when I don't get a chance to play a game. So like, I'm afraid I would miss days and I'd be like, I'm screwed. I'm not going to be able
what's
to
that game that like you're sitting in a cave and it's all about waiting?
Yep. I don't remember the name of that one. I can see it in my head, and yeah. I'll never remember the name of it. Baxi Studio says, I never got into Earthworm Jim. Some reason it just annoyed me. Yeah, I don't know if Earthworm Jim's a genre, but I get what you're saying. I'm a big fan of Earthworm Jim. Sadly, decades later, we find out that the person involved with Earthworm Jim is not the best. So that's a bit sad, but we didn't know that as kids. We didn't know.
The Longing.
That's the name of the game. I would have never remembered that ever. Moving on, I also talked about 1000 Resist, which I will be talking about later today in the What We Played section. I cannot tell you how excited I've been to talk about this game, so I'll save it for later. I also talked about Code Geass because I finished Code Geass, and all I've ever heard about Code Geass was it's one of the best anime ever. You gotta watch top 10 anime. Blah, blah, blah.
Code Geass?
Code Geass. Not Gyat. There are Gyats in the anime for sure. But I finished the anime this week and I was like, I think it's worth the hype. I can see why people greatly enjoyed it. Would I make it one of my favorite animes of all time? No, but I couldn't understand why people would put it there. I will say everybody was talking about how it's one of the best endings they've ever seen to an anime. I will co-sign that. It was the ending was not overblown. People hyping it up were right. I was very, very impressed with it. Overall, the show was great. I would if you absolutely love or even like a little bit Death Note, I would recommend going with Code Geass because there's definitely similar threads between the main characters. It's about how do I say this without spoilers? It's about warring nations and kings and queens and regal people and
Your favorite.
well, it's in the future, so we got that going for us.
Hmm.
And it's about Geass, which is an ability that is imbued upon someone to give them a power, but the power is different for every person.
It's
How is
good,
it
right?
spelled?
Geass. Geass.
It's a new show. Newish.
It's from 2005, so it's
not
finished.
finished.
It
And
is
you
finished.
finished it,
It is finished,
and there's no more.
There is no more. That show. All right,
So I could
yes,
watch it
The answer
and have a satisfying ending.
yes, I will say this. There's more Code Geass coming out in June, but think of Code Geass as like a franchise. So whatever's coming out now is not related to the Code Geass right now. It's just Code Geass, brand new with all new characters.
Have they had new stuff for Code Geass before, or is this now because folks like us are like, "Oh, we've heard we should watch this. We better watch it. Hey,
So-
we like it."
So
And
my
now-
knowledge of everything Code Geass that exists is limited. I know there was the original, manga. Then there was the show adaptation, which was very popular. There were 4 movies, but the first 3 movies just recap the show and add in better animation. The 4th movie is brand new. I would recommend you don't watch it because the 4th movie is like, what if instead of this in the show, this happened? And I watched the movie and I was like, this is stupid. So
Wait, you recommend don't watch the 4th movie?
I recommend don't watch any of the movies. You don't have to watch the first 3 because they literally recap the show and change a couple things.
Sorry, the 4th one is like a what if story. Like
The 4th one is basically there's a few pivotal things that happen in the anime, and it's like, what if this one thing changed? And the movie's like, here's what would happen if this one thing changed. And I'm like, but the thing you're changing is the whole reason I like the anime. So yes,
So do you recommend I watch the show?
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't recommend you watch it. I don't think you're going to enjoy it.
Thank you.
But if you do decide to, yes, watch the show.
Because I like Death Note. You're kind of contradicting what you said earlier.
Well, the main without a doubt, there is no way you're going to watch the show and not see the Death Note connections. The main character and Light have very similar styles to them, very similar approaches. Very like I play 4D chess kind of characters where they're like 7 moves ahead of everybody.
I like all that.
That is very enjoyable. I just don't think everything surrounding it is well, the warring nations and the kingdoms and the diplomacy, that's also up your alley. You watch it if you want. I'm not telling you don't watch it. I'm thinking you're not going to like it.
I appreciate that.
Of course. But yes, it was definitely worth a watch. Glad I did. Now I'll watch the new Code Geass when it comes out in June, I believe, on Disney Plus. Great job promoting everything, Disney. It makes me so pissed off.
Sorry,
And I got somebody else on
what's-
TikTok who did it,
what is it
who's talked about it. What is what?
that you're looking for
Code Geass. Still talking about it.
on
Thanks for
Disney
joining the
Plus?
show. Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus?
I'll tell you if you let me
Sorry,
continue.
I was reading this thing.
Code Geass has a new season coming out. It's just Code Geass, as in it's its own thing. Code Geass. It's not related to the old show. At least we don't know.
Yes, is funny to me.
Um,
Continue.
So the new show is going to air on Disney Plus in June. Disney does the worst job of promoting that they have anime, and I don't know why. Disney will shell out the money to get anime and then tell nobody that they have it. Hulu is like, come watch our anime. Netflix is like, come watch our anime. Anime is the biggest genre on both of those streaming services. Disney buys it, like pays the rights to get it, and doesn't talk about it. I have no idea why.
I hate the new Disney Plus app because I go in there and it's like all Hulu junk that I don't want. And it's like, I already have the Hulu app that's tailored to what I like to watch. Give me the Disney crap. And I didn't even know until you just said that they have anime on there.
They got it. And they have purchased rights exclusively to some anime that I'm watching there. But I only know because I'm an anime dork. Like, I have not seen any commercials, trailers, promo videos for any of this stuff. It's so frustrating. And
They're
why put the money
probably-
into it and not do it?
They're trying to crush anime. They want Western animation. It's Disney, for God's sake.
They don't even do that anymore. Disney doesn't do regular animation anymore, or hardly ever. I mean, that's not true. They have the Disney Channel has animated stuff, but what it really is Disney has anime, and Disney Plus airs it in a lot of other countries, and that's where they promote it. Here in the States, they're like, Crunchyroll is the king. Like, we're never going to crush Crunchyroll. So they're like, we own the rights to this. We'll throw it, or we'll put it on the Disney Plus service in America too. Why not? We're just more focused on other countries. That's what's really going on. It's just disheartening because I live here and I randomly find out this is over here, and I'm like, well, just put out like something on YouTube. What's the big deal? Put out a trailer on YouTube saying we got this. Like, Netflix has a whole YouTube anime channel to show you just specifically what anime they have, and they have a Twitter account for that too. And Hulu is all about anime. It's crazy to me. I don't know what Disney's doing, but like I said, I believe it's because Disney Plus in other countries really promotes the anime because they know Crunchyroll is the king here, and Sony's got Crunchyroll now. Blah 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 blah. So Code Geass, I watched it. If you like Death Note, look into it. Hello Kalas. Hello Rosemary the Farmer. Yes, Rosemary, that's true. We'll be talking about that later. Yeah, Sandland is on Hulu, which is joined with Disney Plus. That's true. Sandland's on my list to watch. The late great Akira Toriyama's last work. I played the demo of the game and haven't watched the show or the movie yet. Moving on.
Sandland. That's the one with Chalamet, or?
I talked about Accolades trailers. We all know about Accolades trailers. I specifically talked about game Accolades trailers, and I had the question.
Is that the new Star Wars series?
The Accolade, yeah. June 4th, watch the first episodes of The Accolade. I asked, we all know what Accolades trailers are. Have you ever watched an Accolades trailer and you're like, I will now buy that game? Or I will now watch that show? Have you ever done that?
Okay, so Accolades trailer, I'm guessing that's just like it won a bunch of awards and then they put a trailer together that's like, it won all these awards. Come watch the
I'm
movie
a sucker for advertising.
No. We can't probably this situation. It's
chances of me having seen it are high because it's got all these accolades. Maybe I've already seen it, right?
I don't. That's why I'm asking you guys. The question is, have you ever seen an Accolades trailer for something you didn't know existed, or you knew existed and didn't watch yet, and you were wooed by it? Because I've seen countless Accolades trailers, but not one where I'm like, I'm going to get it now because of that trailer.
I don't know. Not that
I'm going to watch it now.
Probably because I
don't like these answers.
No, well, I can't tell you for sure because I can't remember.
So then you don't know is the answer.
No, but like I bought
the
Stanley Parable. Why did I buy it? Because I saw a trailer and it was like won all these awards. So yes.
Then your answer is yes. There you go.
But like I get confused because there's like other trailers are they just have critic comments. They're not because of awards, and they're like,
well, that's an Accolades trailer. If it's got critic comments,
I feel like every trailer that's made.
No, because before things come out, they get trailers. So that's impossible.
But anything that I've seen a trailer for,
and if it's got comments from critic, it's not going to be like this game sucks. Unless it's Earthbound.
So have you been wooed by
No, because
I love this. Like, I can't wait to hear this too.
Because this is the whole reason I wrote this post, because I was like, these Accolades trailers come out all the time, and I've never once watched this. And
however,
they've got me excited for things that I've already played.
He just doesn't, like, he's just so evolved. Like, he wouldn't fall for a trailer.
Well,
like, he just knows, like...
This is the whole point, because the majority of the comments were like, no, I have not watched an Accolades trailer and been wooed to buy something or watch something.
So what are you saying? Stop making Accolades trailer? I don't understand why it's even a problem.
I didn't even said it was a problem.
I've never even thought of Accolades trailers until you made this post.
This is the whole reason I'm writing the post, because I'm asking what purpose do these serve? Do people watch these and they watch something, or they see something, or they buy something? Because I've never had it happen. And now all the people on Patreon were like, I've also never done it. And I'm like, maybe we're too hyper focused. Maybe you already know too much about this thing. And the average person will see, like, I have no interest in Furiosa, but I've seen it's got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I will go to the theater and watch it. There are people out there that will do that.
I am a type of person that checks out ratings or reviews, not reviews necessarily, but like the number where it's falling to see if like I want to spend the money to go and see it.
Do you
like if it's worth it? People who are on the fence about something, they get an Accolades trailer or something, and they're like, you know what? I am going to put my time towards
we
this.
know those people are out there. Sure. We have to assume those people are out there because they keep doing Accolades trailers. My whole point of writing this post was let's find these people, and I can't find them.
I would say there's more than
There's
50%
one.
of the population would fall into that.
They would, but only to a certain degree, because there's also people are much more likely to be like, I'm not watching that garbage. It's got this actor, or I'm not watching this garbage. It's got kids. It's for kids.
I mean,
Or,
you're
I'm not
talking about
watching this
yourself
because
here.
it's sci-fi. Not me at all. And then, there are other people who will see an Accolades trailer, and no matter what it is, they would be like, oh, all right. If this looks like it's supposed to be pretty good, I'll add it to my list.
Do you find an Accolades trailer to be pretentious?
Not at all.
Like,
I
what is
like
the-
Accolades trailers.
You like them, but it's never moved you to purchase.
Yeah,
whatever,
but that
or-
could be because I mostly already know about the things.
which is what I said when you brought up this topic. It was the first thing I said.
Yes, but I'm talking about games here. Like with movies and stuff, there's so many movies and TV shows that I haven't seen, and I will see an Accolades trailer for, but I've never been wooed by the Accolades
See, that's
trailer.
where I get confused, because there's something that I don't know exists. I see a trailer and it has people commenting, saying like, greatest movie of the year. I don't believe that it's the greatest movie of the year. If it says something like that, I know it's not.
I also,
But it's also the first exposure to that I have to something.
Yes.
So yes, it is leading me to
But
watch it.
Yes, so you're analyzing to a degree too deep. We're not looking for that.
No.
If that is the first trailer you see for it, and it's an Accolades
Then I
trailer,
am-
yes, but we're not talking about that.
Like,
Obviously, that's not the point we're
when it
talking
comes
about
to
here.
games, yeah,
If that's your first exposure, then of course, yes, then an Accolades trailer can woo you. But we're
But-
talking about the Accolades trailer in what it encompasses.
But when if I see a trailer for a game that has all sorts of awards things on it and everything and comments, it leads me to a point of thinking like, there's a lot of people liking this crap, so maybe I should get it. Like maybe there's something to it.
now
Like
you're speaking my language.
like I don't think I would be interested in this normally, but a lot of people like it, and like if it's winning awards, maybe there's something to
this
it
is why
that
I
I'd like
put
to
this
get something
post
out of
together
it.
for this exact conversation, because I find it
How
very
many-
interesting.
How many experiences do you have? Like, I don't think you can know with 100% certainty what you're going to get out of an experience or something. There might
I agree.
be a genre of game that you generally can't stand, but it's getting ridiculous accolades, and then you're
Mhm.
like, you know what? Maybe I will give it a shot. Like,
I will do that, but not from a trailer. Like if let's say I see that trailer, like I'll take
You're doing
personal,
Doctor Who.
well, what do you-
personal accounts more, like people that I actually know. If they give me their personal accolades, then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if I see like the so and so, the New York Post,
would
the
say
whatever, all that stuff,
if there's a crapolades, if there's a trailer just crapping on it, being like but if there's trailers saying like you should not watch this movie,
Yeah.
this movie is not worth your time, that would lead you to watch something.
it didn't make me play Earthbound because that was their whole marketing campaign. So
Yeah, I guess.
But you
it
did
would.
play it.
I was gonna.
So
20 years later.
subconsciously, it probably did lead you to play it
yep,
because you
that's
saw
what
it,
was.
because you did see the
what it was.
trailer
Yeah.
and you did end up playing it. So you have to
There were
draw
no
the
trailers
connection there.
at the time. Trailers for games.
Well, then what are you saying? The
The
whole
whole
marketing.
ad campaign.
You saw the whole marketing
Yeah.
campaign.
You're
and
all
you
right.
did a
Hold
bunch
on.
of-
I can't believe you're doing this. You're telling me 20 years ago I saw an ad campaign that says this game stinks in a
Yeah.
genre that I
Well, we
wasn't
can't
interested
say
in,
with
and
100%
subconsciously
certainty.
I was like 20 years later.
We
I'm gonna
cannot
play
say
this.
that did not have an effect on you.
Just goofy.
that
He
later
has to
on-
be just
No, he's not. He loves this.
Well, no,
area.
that's
See,
exactly.
Look at his face.
I'm
He loves
telling
it.
you, that's exactly how it works for me. I see
Yeah,
something,
and I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way for me.
I'm saying I see something. I say something. No, I see something.
You know, I was.
It plants that seed. It draws my attention. It gets me interested into something that I wouldn't normally
Yeah.
see.
I can see that.
That's why.
Listen, I watched The Whale.
I don't know why you're
Why did I
arguing.
watch The Whale? Why did
I'm
I watch
happy
The Whale?
you are like this.
I
I
watched
want
The
this
Whale.
is the whole reason I put this
I'm
post
trying to
together.
talk.
You watched The Whale. Yeah, I get it. You watched The Whale. You watched
Why?
The Whale.
Partially
Fraser?
because when it was
Crazier?
because the whole buzz about it. Oh, it had a 15-minute standing ovation, and I was like, what about this led people to stand up and
They do that all the time. At
I
cons.
know, and that's the thing. After I watched the movie, I'm like,
They're
Yeah.
stretching their legs.
Yeah, yeah, because they got to watch another movie right after
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
so they want to.
They gave Furiosa whatever another 9-minute. That's the thing they do. They do it for all the movies. It doesn't matter how bad it is. They're
It
showing their
doesn't matter.
And
appreciation
listen,
for
I didn't.
the art and the actors and the experience of cinema and having their.
I just want to make it clear. I didn't hate the movie. I told Deux, I watched it. Part of the way through, I thought to myself, I feel like this would make a better stage play. And then at the end of the thing, those credits roll based on a play written by somebody. So like it was a stage play. So
Would
the
you say
thing-
you liked it
part of
well enough? Well enough. Well enough.
Oh man, you had to spell that one out.
Wow,
for me.
Jesus Christ.
You
This
know,
is great.
I wasn't really big on the whole thing. No.
J-Bug, I'm with you, my friend.
That was
Um,
good.
No, but like it was just interesting because getting to the credits, I was like, I felt like my thoughts were justified. And then I was like, you know what? The way they executed it makes more sense to me now if that was their goal. I don't know if that was the goal, but you know, if they wanted to stay true to that kind of theatrical element, or not. But whatever. It
The
was
goal of that movie was for Brendan Fraser to get back in the limelight, George, so he could be terrible in what was it, Killers of the Flower Moon? Is that the name of the movie?
Oh yeah, he was in that too.
He's in it for a very short amount of time, but he stinks it up.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
He stinks it up. I'm not.
I mean, but
I like the guy.
That's
I
the
love
thing.
the guy. I think he's
He
a great
was-
guy. But in that movie,
Well, you should watch The Whale because it's what do they call it? A box movie or
Yeah,
whatever.
it takes place in one.
Yeah, you love
I
that.
love that.
And I think it even rains at one point. Isn't it raining at one point?
Oh yeah.
You're a big storm fan, aren't you?
Am I?
I thought you said you like storms in movies, and you said that about Bodies or something. You were like, it's all
This
in one
is-
place and there's a storm happening. It was
This
great.
is new to me.
It's
I don't know a
everything I
storm
love.
thing. No.
Well, okay.
Oh, that movie is in one place.
Bodies has a storm.
Yeah, it's a whole movie. It all takes place during a hurricane.
Bodies.
Yes.
Bodies. Oh, bodies. This is.
You were
Bodies,
thinking of Three
Bodies?
Body Problem.
You got it
Bodies,
exactly.
Bodies,
You
Bodies.
got it
That's
exactly.
funny.
It was. I liked. Okay, now I'm in the right frame of mind. I liked that the storm kept them inside the house. Yes.
Okay, just-
Okay. You got it. You are not crazy. I was the crazy one here because I was thinking Three Body Problem. I didn't even like that, but we made it back. Yes, I like Storm and X-Men. That's true. Aurora Borealis. Moving on. This is if you join the Patreon, you can get in on conversations like this. Talked about June being a nightmare month because we're right around the corner. June used to be E3 time. E3 is officially dead.
Sons of bitches.
But every publisher and developer is like, we'll do our own E3. So every week has multiple streams. I can't remember the names of all of them, but IGN's got one, and Future Games Show, and every indie developer and Devolver Digital. I'm not complaining about theirs because they kill it every time. All of them. So it's like 4 weeks in a row of like multiple days of streams that are like an hour or 2 hours, or sometimes pushing 2.5 hours. And it's a lot. And it's a lot to keep up with, And people are like, I kind of missed when we had E3 week and you could watch everything in a week and like get it all. And there was a shotgun blast, and like you could, even if you weren't interested, you would watch it all because you never knew what was coming. And now you have to stretch it out through a month, if not more, and keep track of all these different things. So it's a nightmare. Obviously, it's a nightmare covering it. And I'm less than excited, but the month is coming up. So if you want to know about games on the horizon, next month is going to be a very busy month. Oh, of course, Summer Game Fest with Dorito Pope as well. How embarrassing.
Say Nintendo did for E3 what Netflix did for cable.
This is Nintendo's fault. I will agree with that.
Nintendo was like, we're not going to some big event. We're just going to do some videos and do our own stuff. And now everyone's like, we're all going to do our own stuff. So now it's just
It is true. I will say Nintendo pioneered it. You are very right. And I remember thinking back in the day, I was like, Nintendo is crazy. They're not going to be at E3 and they're not going to have a stage show. This is a terrible idea.
What's wrong with you?
Now everybody's doing it. So, yep, they caused it. It was a great idea, and now look at where we are. So it's all Nintendo.
One thing
fault.
Nintendo does,
do
though,
their own E3 now.
one thing Nintendo does that the other ones don't seem to do, or maybe they do and we don't talk about it, is they take their games on tour and they let people play them. You know, like they have events in parking lots and back alleys, and they let people get some hands-on time. So those other companies don't do
back
it.
alleys.
Well, yeah, we're just talking about Microsoft and Sony. They have events where you can go play their stuff, but not to the degree that Nintendo does. Yeah, Nintendo loves doing that. Their tours, especially in the summer, of malls and other venues where they show off all their games.
That's the thing. You got to get down there with the people.
Ground level, boots to the ground.
You got to get people who have no concept of what video games are and have them work these boots.
Yeah, but Sony and Microsoft can't do that. What games are they going to show? Like, come on out and play Stellar Blade and like, what's Sony going to bring people to a booth to like the general public, like Joe Schmo? They know Mario. They'll go check that out. Or they'll go play Nintendo Switch Sports or Mario Kart. You're not going to go to a Sony booth and play Stellar Blade and go to Xbox booth and play Senua 2 and like those aren't like that's not going to. You're not going to go to a mall and attract the same kind of crowd. They can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't do it as often, but they do it. Also on Patreon, the great debate. Let's see if this one gets you guys riled up. A 2D game. Something wrong here?
No.
A puzzle
puzzle
platformer or a platformer in general. 2D game. Both are options for the input method, the directional pad or the thumbstick. Which are you using? There's no difference in how the character controls. It's not analog-based momentum. It's just left, right, up, down. You have the joystick, or you have the thumbstick, and you have the directional pad. Which are you using?
You're not going to like my idea.
It's not. There's no
this
wrong
was
answer.
One of your Patreon posts. Did you do this because I asked you about it this week, or is that just coincidental?
Coincidental, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Maybe it was because you were playing Animal Well.
Probably, if I had to guess, yes.
Yeah, it alternates for me.
Based on
whatever the game is. Like it doesn't. There's no rhyme or reason.
Why? There is.
Why?
I'm asking you.
No, there really isn't.
Come on, think about it.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it in your mind. There's got to be something that makes you pick one over the other. Don't be afraid to explore the depths of your mind.
The depths?
Depths. You're going to stonewall me.
Because I was beaten as a child? Like, where are we going with this?
There's a reason why you pick it. And if you're like, I don't know, I just do it. There's something there that influences your decision. And I'd like
you are talking to the guy who starts a game.
Labors over choices in every game. So, yeah, you make a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because I start a game and I'm like, I don't like the way this controls. And then I go inverse. And then I'm like, oh, I don't like the way this controls. And then I go back. And then I go, this doesn't make sense. None of these controls work for me. And then I just play the game. So yes, there's no rhyme or reason.
But there is, because you end up picking the lesser of two evils for you in that instance.
But I can do two side-scrolling games and do one with the D-pad and one with the directional pad. It's just the way it controls or feels.
There we go. So you feel a difference, even though there's no difference. Maybe you like the way the just on off of the D-pad or the play in the joystick. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I mean, I thought that was assumed because that's like, why else would I decide one over the other?
That's why we're figuring it out. And you're acting like there's no answer. Now we know there's an answer. Sometimes you feel like doing the joystick because you like the feel of it over the D-pad. And sometimes you like the D-pad because it's just on and off.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm always D-pad.
That's okay. Why?
Because
I don't need to know. What about you?
No. You're getting it. Because we grew up on 2D games with D-pads, and when I play those games nowadays, especially if they're 8-direction games, that just feels right to me. When I'm using a joystick, if there's a dead zone, I feel like, there's play in where I'm moving and not moving, and I don't need that because it's just an on and an off. So I like the D-pad. It just feels more natural to me. I can use a joystick, obviously, or a thumbstick, obvioly, but
I think my problem is the D-pad doesn't feel like an old school D-pad, and I just don't like. I don't feel that connection with it or whatever. And
see,
so
see
like
what
I
happens when we
struggle.
talk about things? We get layers. Now we know a whole other reason here. Yeah, you're right. Like on the Switch specifically, there isn't a traditional D-pad. There's buttons. I understand why they did that because of holding it sideways. But yes, it doesn't have a traditional D-pad feeling to it. Maybe if it did, you would use that more. So there
Well,
you go.
I
And there's
don't-
third-party controllers that do. You know, like the Pro controller does have a traditional D-pad.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I don't know why
100%.
I don't use it because I just played something today and I didn't
Isn't
use
it fun to explore your mind?
No.
Look at all these things that have come up because we're talking about this now. Isn't that interesting?
What came up? I just said I didn't use it on a game that I played.
And what did you
today.
say? I don't know why I didn't use it. That's why we put these posts together to talk about this stuff, to find out why. Because you learn things about other people, you learn things about yourself, you come up
Listen,
with questions.
I'm
you
really tight on
ponder.
cash. How much is this session going to cost me today?
This one, $1. Join the Patreon for $1. Do D-pad,
For a
Joyce or
dollar.
thumbstick.
Why would you call him that?
Do you have a preference? Do you?
I'm
Yeah,
like
do
I'm like
D-pad.
you. If it's a 2D game, then I'll I'll be using the D-pad. It just feels right. There's something weird about playing 2D games for me with a joystick. It doesn't, like you said, there's too much play in between those directions that I don't think needs to be there.
Yes. People on Patreon are saying they particularly like using the D-pad when they're playing grid-based games, which makes perfect sense. Like I would say a joystick or a thumbstick is a lesser of a control input there, because with a directional pad in a grid-based game, you push the button, you move a space. You push the button, you move a space. With a joystick, you're pushing, and it's not as precise. So you have an up, down, left, or right. On a thumbstick, you have 360 degrees. So that makes sense. A lot of people are saying they really like using a directional pad for menu-based options because, again, that's an up and down kind of thing. So that makes a lot of sense there too. So
I think the other thing for me is when I'm playing with the Pro controller, it's like if I'm watching a movie or a TV show in English, but the subtitles are on, my eyes go to the subtitles. And so like when I'm holding the Pro controller, it just, my thumb reaches the directional pad easier.
some people talked about that as well on Patreon. And yes, I'm the same way.
Like
with
even if I
subtitles.
don't want to use it, I end up going back to it anyway.
There you go. See, look at all this stuff we discovered.
People
For
are
some-
clamoring in the comments for Nicky Hill Patreons responding to all of RMC's Patreon
That's
posts.
funny. As the
Well-
I'll text you every Patreon post I do, and you can.
Well,
send
you
me a
can,
text
yeah, you
response
can
back.
join my Patreon,
Go ahead.
and it'll just be a rebuttal for everything. Even
No,
if-
I would argue it would be a devil's advocate, but either way, I'm interested, and I'll be a day one subscriber.
Every post is it's either about Keanu Reeves or Al Pacino.
I like how I bring up like the Patreon post, and you're like, "What do you mean? Why would we talk about this?" And then we get like 6 different answers from you. I'm like, "That's exactly why we talk about it."
But I like, you see value in my answer. I just see, I don't care which one I use. I just use it whatever feels good for in the moment.
I don't care if you don't care. You're right. I see value in it. That's why we talk about it. You don't. I don't care what you see because you're gonna be like, I don't care. I just do what I do. But I know there's more to it than that, and we got there.
I do what
So
feels
thank you.
good, man.
Oh, I'm getting a spam
My
phone.
body is ready.
And then our last one. I'm gonna say here's one that'll have a definitive answer, but don't want to pressure you. What movie have you watched the most in your life? What one movie have you watched more than any other movie? Nicky Hill is already distraught. I'll start with my answer because I don't really rewatch things. Without a doubt, the answer for me is The Fifth Element. No other movie even comes close. I saw it in the theater 6 times, watched it at home a whole bunch of times after that. I haven't seen it from start to finish in years, but The Fifth Element, hands down. Saw it at a very formative time in my life. That movie means a ton to me. I don't think it's the greatest movie ever. I wouldn't even put it in my top 10 movies, but it means so much to me and informs so much of who I am and how I feel about things. So Fifth Element is the one for me.
Yeah.
You guys, a movie you've watched more than any other? Doesn't have to be because of any special reason, just you've seen it a lot.
Yeah, probably like Back to the Future
Oh,
might be the one I watched. That Back to the Future, Raiders, Empire. Those are like I've watched so many times those movies. maybe those movies.
Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, I feel like I can think of a bunch that I've watched probably equal amount of times, like a lot, or not a lot, but
What are they?
The Rock, The Crow,
Sensing a
Die
trend.
Hard with a
Oh,
Vengeance.
trend's over.
The Die Hard.
The Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Oh yeah, Die Hard. I watch Die Hard every single year, and then again and again. So it might be Die Hard too.
Although actually, the most, if we're looking at numbers only, it's probably got to be like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas or Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Mom brain loves that Emmett Otter thing.
Oh,
I only just
so
saw it like a couple of years ago for the first time. It's
Really, it's so
It's
good.
great.
I
It
just got
is really
chills,
good.
especially like when you see them like in a wide shot, and they're
That-
and, like they run, but they don't like touch the
that's
ground.
that's a cinematic achievement. That's just so fun to like
That's-
visually take in, but the story is great.
I
too.
think that elements from that show are why I loved the Dark Crystal so much too, because
don't
it's just the
doubt it.
puppetry and everything, and it's
there's
just a
real
mastery
art
there.
to puppetry, and obviously the Henson people know what they're doing. But yeah, that
I'm sorry, did you say hentai people?
hentai people.
Ah.
Speaking of that, I wanted to
Correspondent.
bring that up. SD said reviews of hentai things are hentai versions of
Yeah.
reviews for your Patreon. Hi, Nintendo. Good to see you. I wanted to say Blood Ocean picked The Dark Knight, they said for them. Drake says Muppet Christmas Carol. There you go. SD put in a gif of it. Nintendo says
here
just
for the food.
popping in to say I can't make the pod live today, but hope everyone is having a good weekend. You too, my friend. Jim Henson documentary, Disney Plus, May 31st. Yes, I saw the trailer for that. And
How can that be your most watched
I'm
thing
ex-
if it's not even out?
I'm excited about that. It's got a great like thumbnail poster too. So there you go. We got some definitive answers on that one. Great job, everybody. That's what Patreon was like this week. Again, you can join the Patreon for $1 and you get all of that. And I reply to everyone who leaves a comment within the first 24 hours of the post going live. After that, I'm sorry, I must move on. Peace and love. But if you're there by the time I go in to write my next post, I will reply to you.
For $1.
For $1. And again, thank you to those who have been joining in there lately. I hope you've been finding it worth your $1 a month. But that's it for Patreon. That's it for the preamble. Let's get into news. Can you hit me with that sweet news jingle?
Finally.
Not too much in the way of top stories this week, but we do have some interesting ones. First off is one of the bigger stories. Nintendo has acquired Shiver Entertainment. Nintendo doesn't acquire companies all that often, but they shelled out some bucks to make Shiver Entertainment part of their umbrella. And some people are like, who is Shiver Entertainment? They have been a house that specialized in porting other games to the Switch. They've done games such as Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1, and most recently, Hogwarts Legacy. So with Hogwarts Legacy, they've shown they are pretty knowledgeable in the porting process. And Nintendo obviously sees great value in that. So if I had to guess, Nintendo would A, hire this company for grunt work on other games, and B, hire them to help other companies bring their games to the Switch's successor. So when Nintendo's like, hey, we would love for this game to be on Switch, and the company's like, we would love for this game to be on Switch's successor. And the other company's like, we would love for it to be there too, but we lack a little bit in technical know-how. We don't really have the manpower. And Nintendo's like, hey, we got this group under our umbrella now. They could help you. They could give you a few pointers. They could show you what to do. And that company's like, great idea. Let's work with them. So that's probably exactly why Nintendo's doing that. They bought them
in
from
Miami,
Embracer.
Florida.
That's right, a Florida company. They were under Embracer. Embracer bought them. Embracer bought a buttload of companies, and now they're selling some and closing others because Embracer was like, oh my God, we spent billions, and then we didn't know what to do with these companies. So Nintendo swooped in to get them at a discount, and that's what happened. So we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye out for them in the credits of Nintendo games going forward, although I don't know if they'll still be called Shiver. They'll probably be renamed to something, but we'll find out together. Miriel says, we're going to celebrate. Oh, okay. Miriel says, well, that came out of left field. Did anyone see this coming? Nope, not a peep. Didn't hear anything from anyone. Nintendo's good at doing that. keeping these acquisitions very quiet and then just announcing them out of nowhere. They've done it a few times, and we never have any inkling that Nintendo's making a move. So we'll see what their first game ends up being. It'll be on the Switch's successor, obviously, but
What are you thinking?
nobody knows what it'll be. Do you have a favorite Smash Brothers character? Are you convinced that they are a better character than others? Have you looked at all the tier lists for Smash Brothers characters that are made by professional players, and you're like,
Yes, I really did.
of course you did, Josh. You probably play as Rob the Robot, a fellow robot.
I'm a hardcore gamer.
Oh, of course. You know, you look at the tier lists made by fans, and those tier lists are like, this character is trash, and this character is god tier. Well, now we have some input from Mr. Smash Brothers himself, Masahiro Sakurai. He did another one of his game development videos, and in that video, he talked about Smash Brothers, and he talked about who people play as and how it breaks down. Well,
Who do you play as?
Well, he
and
didn't.
how does it break down?
He didn't give specific characters or anything. He's like, hey, I'm the Smash Brothers guy. I know what's going on with Smash Brothers. So when you people are playing online, I can see all that data. And I got a surprise for you. There's not that big of a difference between wins and losses with characters. So here's the deal. Again, he didn't say the character specifically, but he said the highest win rate character in Smash Brothers Ultimate, meaning the character that people play as that gets the most wins, that character wins 51% of the time. Roster on Smash Brothers is absolutely huge. The character with the lowest win rate, so people playing with this character as their main, or basically the people playing with this character, that character wins games 47% of the time. So basically a 5% spread between the least winning character and the most winning character. So long story short, you can win with any character. It's just your skill with that character. There's no one character that is like god tier where it's like, if you play with this character, you're going to have a 25% advantage over everybody. That's not the case at all. When it comes to online, there's roughly a 5% spread. So there you go. I mean, as Deux will probably know, 5% is everything. He takes that 5%.
That's right.
So it's not that huge of a difference. Obviously, if you're playing a tournament setting, 5% can make a very big difference, yes, but we don't know who's at the top. We don't know who's at the bottom. We don't know who's in the middle. We don't know any of the placements for anybody. We just know between the bottom and the top, it's 5%. Sakurai says, thanks, SD. Thanks for dropping in. Sakurai says, quote, the internet can tend to be an echo chamber of sorts. So if people start saying something is strong or weak, that assessment will gain momentum and make people think it's truer than it is, end quote. So Sakurai is basically saying, you guys, what you're out there saying isn't really true, and it takes on a life of its own. There's a 5% difference between these characters. You can make them all work. It's just you got to hone your skills. So proof is in the pudding. Sakurai is basically like, I'm so tired of these conversations.
I was just going to say.
I fed up with this war.
Yeah, that's what it is, basically. He's like, you know, I'm sure, you know, he puts so much work, and his team puts so much work into balancing these characters. So there's no two characters that are so greatly outclassed by one another that it's like incompatible. It's one of the most balanced fighting games there is. So when he goes online, it's like, you know, he sees people like, this character's the best and this character sucks. And there's nobody, like, he's like, here's the numbers, people. It's not true. So there you go.
Man.
Steister says, I love this. Years of shouting at my friends that every character is viable despite them trying to only play good characters. Quote, I can tell them I was right now, right? You can. And if I know your friends, and I don't, but if they're making an argument, they're still not going to listen to you. So I'm sorry, Steister. You know what? Tell them in a very popular idiom nowadays, facts don't care about your feelings. Send them from Sakurai himself and listen to them squirm and whine and shoot it down. But you know the truth, and that's what matters. So if you like playing as King K. Rool, if you like playing as Rob, if you like playing as Ness, if you like playing as Bayonetta, you like playing as Banjo-Kazooie, you like playing as Kirby, you like playing as Sheik, it doesn't matter. You got a real chance of winning as long as you practice that character.
Finally.
So there you go. Very interesting from Sakurai. I really like that. North America. What do we got this week? Let me tell you. It's on the music page, I think.
Oh, thank you.
I believe it's at the bottom. There you go. North America this week, what do we got? Let me tell you. Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door. Didn't play it on the GameCube 20 years ago? You can play the remake on the Switch today. Paper Trail. Duck Detective, The Secret Salami.
That could be a Paper Mario game. Paper Trail.
Paper Mario Paper Trail. Yep, it still could be, but that works. 50 Pinch Barrage. Adventure Horror Bundle. Airplane Delivery Simulator 2024. Realistic Geographical. Blade Jumper, Bread and Fred. Nicky Hill looking to Bread and Fred. Cards RPG, The Misty
Like right
Battlefield.
now?
No, it's one for me and you. Cat Warrior, Chocolate Factory Tycoon. Lube's dream comes true. The Chocolate Factory. Claws and Feathers 3. Coffee Simulator Tycoon. Conjured Through Death.
Oh, you do like bread.
Construction Simulator 4. Love bread. Crazy Stunt Driver. Extreme Racing Simulator. Cupid Parasite. Sweet and Spicy Darling. Dish Puzzle. Doug's Nightmare. Shin Mao Govelius. Eternal Threads. Evidence Destroyer. Haunty. Haunty's going to be a sleeper hit for those who play it. That's my guess. I haven't started it yet. It just looks like one. Evidence Destroyer. Oh, I'm sorry. Helicopter Battle Arena Simulator. High Laundry Overwash. Play with your friends. I Am Titan. My Universe Discovery. Necro Bouncer. Ninja Shadow Quest. One More Gate, a Wakfu Legend Complete Edition. Paper Dash, Invasion of Greed. Pine Hearts. Restaurant Tycoon Simulator. Scarlet Tower. Slide Puzzle. Soul Link. Summer and Winter Sports Games Bundle. Sunland Town. Tales from the Underrealm After Midnight. The Glass Staircase. The Magic and Murder Bundle. The Quintessential Quintuplets 5 Memories Spent With You. And the Quintessential Quintuplets Memories of a Quintessential Summer. You can get both of those games in a bundle if you'd like. Tip Top Table Tennis. TP Bullet. Treasure Guardian. Collector Shift Defenders Saga. Truck Simulator City Delivery. Ultra Food Mess 2. Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord, and finally, You Adorable Elfin Clay 2. That is that. No comment there. On to Nicky Hill.
Bread and
Josh,
Fred is
Josh,
10%
could you please
discount.
launch
What are the
discount
next European
on Bread and Fred.
masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Thank you, Josh. Bear with me. It's been a while. I've forgotten how to read. This is
Yeah.
the. Did I ever learn to begin with? These are the eShop releases for Europe. The week of May 23rd, 23D, the year of our Lord 2024. Morbid, The Lords of Ire. My Little Pony, Zephyr Heights Mystery. Zephyr Heights Mystery. Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door. If you didn't play it on the GameCube, you can play the re-release on the Switch or remaster.
Remake.
It's remade. Reprinted, they should have called it, right?
That song is always quiet.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not called anything. It's just Paper Mario the 1,000-Year
No,
Door.
I know, but it's it's reprinted on fresh paper.
Oh,
fresh
I
sheet.
got you.
They did right by not naming it that. 2D indie bundle. What's in that?
I got no
we
clue.
don't know. 30 pinch barrage. No, 50 pinch barrage. What is that? Skidoo? 23 Skidoo. That's what makes me think
23
of that.
Skidoo.
50 pinch barrage. Adrenaline rush. Highway extreme traffic racer. You know what? Keep your extreme traffic racing experiences in the game. Don't bring it into the real world. We don't need that on our roads or on European roads. Astro Blaze DX. Beast Watch. Meat and Mayhems. Meat spelled MEAT. Blade Jumper.
We're on the bees.
I was just thinking.
Don't
that.
worry,
I was
it's not a
just
long
thinking
list
that.
today. You know what? Go take a break. Go get something to eat.
This is why we timestamp everybody.
Brain Puzzles Bundle 12-in-1. CARDS RPG. The Misty Battlefield. That's called Cards RPG. Casual Puzzles Bundle 8-in-1. It's hard when there's no punctuation and things like this. Something like this. Chocolate Factory Tycoon. Conjured Through Death. Crazy Stunt Driver Extreme Racing Simulator. Again, let's keep that extreme racing in the game. Doug's Nightmare. Duck Detective. Egg Console Shin Mao Golvelius. MSX2. Electronics Puzzle Lab. Era. Exordium. Era? Exordium.
Era. Exordium.
Era. It's a DJ game.
Era. No, you play as a president, an ex-president.
Oh,
Era.
I got you.
Sorry.
Era.
Exordium.
Eternal Light.
And Era.
For
Exordium.
all of you who don't like X, Eternal Threads. Evidence Destroyer. Express Courier Pro Urban Bike Delivery Simulator 2024. Paperboy. Come on. Like, oh, but it's not just papers, it's delivery.
It's DiGiorno.
Oh boy.
This is what I was waiting for.
Finger Suck?
And stuff.
There's a
My
town
tongue.
called Finger.
All right.
I'm going to look up what finger suck is because I got no
I
idea.
bet you will.
that
Foxy
what it
Rush.
What do you think comes up if I just type in finger suck? Not doing it.
Gearhead Karting Simulator Mechanic and Racing. Haunty. Hentai Girls Idol Romance. And it's your lucky day, hentai fans. Hentai Mania is coming out this week too.
Can we get you to actually review a hentai game?
I don't know if I have it in me. My Universe Discovery Collection 2. One More Gate. Awake Wakfu Legend. Wakfu.
Whackfo.
Wakfu. What is Wakfu again?
I got no clue.
Wouldn't you like to know?
What is Wakfu? I got no clue. What is Wakfu? Orb Wars. Overmorrow. Paper Dash Invasion of Greed.
Overmorrow is the game that deletes itself in 30 days.
Oh, why is it the V O V Overmorrow? I don't know.
Write the title.
No, I'm just maybe
I don't know.
wonder.
Got to play the game.
Paper Trail, Pine Hearts, Return, Slide Puzzle, Soul Link, Summer and Winter Sports Games Bundle, Sunland Town, Sweetest Monster, Swipe Right or Left Geography Binary Quiz, the Magic and Murder Bundle, dear Lord, the Quintessential Quintuplets, 5 Memories Spent with You. Ooh. The Quintessential Quintuplets. Memories of a Quintessential Summer. Ooh.
Get both in a bundle.
Can you? Because here it's just separate.
They I didn't the bundle has a separate listing on the eShop, but
Okay.
yeah, you can get them in a bundle.
Man, a lot of racing games this week. Toon Racing. Don't get too excited. It was Toon, not Choo Choo.
Beep beep.
Oh, train. Gotcha. I thought of Choo Choo Rocket because this is a video game podcast.
TP Bullet. Toilet paper bullet. Treasure Guardian. Collector Shift Defender Saga. Okay. Truck Simulator City Delivery. Watch out for that urban bike delivery person, you know. Ultra Food Mess 2. Undercat. And Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. And
No comment.
no comment this week.
Here you go. In Finger Suck, use your finger like a magnet. Simply suck up all the balls and drop them into the tube.
My goodness.
Why does it have to be a finger then if it's
Use
a vacuum?
the Joy-Con controller or touch controls to suck all the balls like a magnet. Navigate the balls past obstacles and around tight mazes over many exciting levels. Great fun and super addictive. Play it now. You can get Finger Suck on the Switch eShop for 99 cents.
Tasty.
There you go. This is
Oh, I guess it's a finger because it's a touch screen.
Finger Suck. You got it. You put your finger on the screen and suck them up. Suck those balls up. Super Mario 64. There's speedrunners, and they always try and do all different kinds of challenges that were never intended to be a challenge for the game. There's obviously speedrunning to all 120 stars. There's speedrunning how many...
Did you look
I know,
at
I
it?
watched it, yeah.
The Super Mario pipe.
Yep, I know.
What?
There's a speed running. See how quickly you can beat the game with as little stars as possible. all kinds of stuff like that. But there's been one that people have been trying to do for a very long time. Super Mario 64 beat the game with as little A button presses as possible. As you might know, Mario likes to jump. So jumping in a Mario game is something you would think you need to do. But apparently, that's not true. For decades, this has been going on. People have been trying to beat the game with as few jumps as possible, few A buttons pressed as possible. We had it down to 2 for a long time, literally 2 A button presses in the entirety of Super Mario 64 to beat the game. And not that long ago, it became 1. Only 1 button press. 1 A button press to beat the game. But now it has been achieved after decades. Super Mario 64 has been beaten without pressing the A button a single time. And all it took was 86 hours to achieve this world record.
How is that even possible?
Well, if you really want to know, there's a 5-hour documentary explaining how all of this works and was put into play. And you can watch the full 86-hour stream of it being played, too, if you want.
I'll take their word for it. But I do... I mean, I don't think I'll watch a 5-hour documentary. It's a real documentary. It's a real documentary, like a...
I don't know what you mean by real. What do you want? Like Jacques Cousteau didn't put it together, but like somebody made a 5-hour video detailing the whole process of how it started to now. So yes, it's very educational. I've watched some of the videos by the guy before where it's like a 2.5-hour video about like the history of the hidden coins or the history of coins in Mario 64 that you'll never be able to get. And I'm like, I'm intrigued, but am I 2 hours intrigued? And by the end, I'm like, can I watch more? This was fascinating. So same guy did it. Don't remember his name.
There's coins that you can't get?
There are coins that Nintendo programmed in the game that by accident, for one reason or another, have been left behind in geometry that you can't pass through or under a level. Just things they never went in and cleaned up because the player would never get them. And people became obsessed with, why are they there? Is there a way to get them legitimately in-game? And it's fascinating that people just love to pick, well, all games apart, but this game in particular. So, yes, you can find the whole process of how to beat Super Mario 64 without any A button presses. This is specific to the Wii Virtual Console version of the game. So this is the only one, as far as we know, where it can be accomplished. But I'm sure the new test will be, can we make this work in other versions of the game?
See, even that, I wouldn't get far, obviously, but like, I feel like after a while, like I'd have to put something on my controller to keep me from pressing the A button because like I'd hit it eventually at some point. Like,
or I'm sure, yeah, if people are playing it like with another controller, they can just, make the A button so that it doesn't do anything. And even if you hit it, nothing would happen. But yes, this has taken the work of many people over the years to accomplish this, but now it is happening. Think about it. It's only accomplished in the Wii Virtual Console version, and obviously that came out a very long time ago. So it is a fascinating story. It's a world record achievement, and no one will ever beat it. Every world record is, or most of them in gaming are, do this the fastest, do this the quickest. This is, you got one person, and they were the first to ever do it. So their name will forever be there. Now it'll be the fastest to accomplish it.
Somebody's going to figure out a way to have negative jumps.
I think so.
They're going to play the whole game crouched or something,
Well, sure, that'd be a different category. You can't get any fewer than 0 A button presses.
Not in this universe.
That is correct. That is correct.
I don't know. I feel like every time I'm like, wow, never again. Somebody always does something.
Why
more
are you being
impressive.
devil's advocate on this?
It's
You
not-
can't go fewer than 0.
I know.
There's no way.
I'm just saying,
You can't help it.
give
No
him a
ways.
chance.
Give them a chance.
These internet folks are crafty.
I hit it -1 times. Prove that I didn't. King Broly says the mind-numbing videos that will come from this will surely entertain. That is a great way to put it, King Broly, because there are people who, I'm telling you, I wish I remembered the name of the YouTube channel. I'm sure somebody in the Discord knows it, but there's a guy who chronicles all this stuff, and he's done insane degrees of coverage for Super Mario 64, stuff like this. Hello, Laxter. Good to see you. Shoot, Laxter, I see your question. Over Morrow? Was that the name of the game I said? The 30 days and a
something
deletion
like that,
save?
yeah.
I believe it's Over Morrow. Sorry, I just saw that now, Laxter. So there you go. Somebody did it, never to be done again for the first time, but in another universe, done better, according to Nicky.
That was like a Trump soundbite you just said.
Never to be done again in this universe for the first time ever. We're gonna skip that because it's a very important one. Nintendo. Hey, look at this. Nintendo is opening a second store in North America. It's happening in the United States. It's happening, people. Forever, Nintendo NY has been the lone retailer, official retail space for Nintendo, owned and operated by Nintendo in the United States. Well, San Francisco, get ready because you're getting one too. And Nintendo said, we got the East Coast. Now let's do the West Coast. Nintendo San Francisco, their second flagship store in the United States, will be opening in 2025. No other details as to the building it will be in, when exactly it's going to open, what it will offer, how it will differ from Nintendo NY, other than location. We don't know. But big news, people. So now we got Nintendo NY, Nintendo Tokyo, Nintendo Kyoto, Nintendo Osaka, and Nintendo San Francisco is on the way. There you go. Streak says, finally. Living on the West Coast has been hard seeing everyone enjoy the big launches in New York. Now I get to join the party. If it's open for the launch of Switch 2, I'll be there. I think you can bet your ass it's going to be open for the launch of Switch 2. It would be real. There's no better way to kick off that store than with the launch of Switch 2 or the Switch's successor, whatever it ends up being called. So I'd say that's a given. Very exciting news. We got the Nintendo Museum opening up in Japan as well. Cool stuff going on. And then our last top story, one of the toppest stories of all time for Nintendo. They've done it, everybody. They've done it. In Japan, the best-selling gaming hardware ever was the Nintendo DS. No other piece of gaming hardware had sold better in Japan. That's every hardware manufacturer. You name a system, portable or console, the DS sold better than it. Until now. As of this week, the Switch has officially surpassed the DS install base in Japan. DS was at 32.8 million. The Switch with this week's sales is at 32.9 million in Japan. Japan's greatest selling system of all time.
We gotta celebrate.
So the crazy part about this is that is what the DS sold when all was said and done, when the last tracked unit made it out the door. The Switch is still selling incredibly well. The Switch sold 40,000 units in Japan just this week. So that tally is going to keep going. The question now is, how far is it going to go? How many more millions, because it's going to be millions, will the Switch reach before it's all said and done? But congratulations to Nintendo on beating Nintendo. They broke their own record. 40,000 units sold this week. You're going to have millions sold this year. It's crazy. The Switch is a juggernaut.
What's the worldwide?
What is the Switch's worldwide total, or what's the best selling?
The PlayStation 2?
PlayStation 2 is the correct answer. And Nintendo was getting very close to beating that with the Switch. Like the Switch is at 134 million and PlayStation 2 was at 150 something, 155 or something. And Nintendo, like, it was looking like it's going to happen. And Sony was like, we sold 165 million just recently. They were like, PS2 sold more. It sold more. And everybody's like, oh, can we see the numbers? And like, we got the numbers. We got the numbers.
Really?
Just like now, after all these years, Sony's like, by the way, the PS2, it sold 165 million. Yeah, swear to God.
That's so funny.
I don't remember.
Like,
I don't know if
10 million
165 was the number exactly, but it was 160 something. They were like, PS2 did more, by the way. We forgot to update you guys on that.
Wow, that's great.
So
That's so
Oh,
good.
somebody just came into the store, bought 10 million.
So Sony's newly established PS2 record probably won't be beaten by the Switch, because that's a little bit too far. But I think the Switch can look forward to getting the number 2 position overall.
If Nintendo reaches the old PlayStation numbers, we can count that a win.
I would say so, yeah. Game Freak says, congratulations to Nintendo and a Switch may it hold the title until the next Nintendo system. Hip, hip, hooray. You know, my friend, I hope you're right. Let it hold that record until Switch's successor comes. So many questions about that system. I'm not a negative Nancy. I am a realist. I am also an optimist, but I don't see any way the Switch's successor surpasses the Switch, but I would love to be wrong. So we'll find out together, my friends. I really think a lot's going to hinge on the name. I really want them to go with Switch 2. I really don't think Nintendo's going to do it, but we'll find out together, everybody. That's your top stories. Let's talk about what we played this week. Nicholas Mountain, what did you play this
You
week?
start with me. I think you always do, right?
I always do. I start with Mom Brain, but she ain't here.
I played Sea
saying?
House G's Solitaire. I played and finished, actually, for the first time in my life, Super Mario Land
Oh,
on the GameCube, the Switch GameCube thing.
I'm gonna give you a noise. You tell me what the noise is.
Nope. The only reason I beat it though is
Oh,
because I like paused and rewound. Like
Who
I didn't
cares?
play it. You know,
Good for you. It
I
doesn't matter.
had to cheat my way through it. But
Jesus Christ. Can you
traditional
pat
save
yourself
is
on the
what it's
back
called.
once?
what's that?
It's called a traditional save, and I don't believe that's cheating at all.
That's the traditional save.
No,
I
it's
rewound
not.
time.
It's
I Prince
not.
of Persia.
He did the rewind feature. Yeah.
That's even cooler. That's even
Oh.
way cooler.
Yeah. No, it's all those
Hold my
Switch
hand.
Online libraries. You have the rewind option where you can rewind a certain amount of time
I
to go
just
back.
never use it. That's cool.
Yeah. And then today.
No,
for-
no, not and then.
Why? What?
You beat it for the first time ever. That game's been out forever. Let's talk about it. Tell us about your adventure. Where'd you make it to when you played it as a kid?
You're right. I did want to talk about this. I don't know
Yeah, you
where.
brought
I
it
don't
up.
know how far I played it. I could tell you if I saw it, but
Okay.
I
mean, you did just see it, but okay.
don't remember things like you. But when I was playing, like how. So I don't. Was Miyamoto even really involved outside of being a
Heavily.
producer?
Heavily.
Because he wasn't there on director. He wasn't there on.
Oh yeah, he was.
I didn't
very
see where his
deeply
name- I
involved
didn't see
on
his
that
name.
one.
But you know how he creates games based on things that he's interested in.
Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to see where this is going.
I think he was a big alien like conspiracy theorist.
Big on aliens at the time. That's
Like,
true.
They knew about the alien involvement in this on this Earth a long time ago.
Miyamoto did.
Yeah, there's signs all over. Right, the whole game is pyramids. The Moai,
Yep, Sphinx is there, and Moai, and the alien.
You're climbing out of a spaceship
Tatanga
at the beginning of levels.
I think is his name. You fight a spaceship.
Yeah. So
You're right. That whole game is very alien. What's the word I'm looking for?
Centric?
Conspiracy theorist.
yeah,
You're
it's-
right.
Yeah.
Tatanga, not Topanga. Although I wish she was in the spaceship at the end.
Um.
There's your picture, Colonel.
Also, is that where you first see Daisy? It was in that game.
Yes. I can't remember before it.
But
But
yeah,
he's got a
I don't
beak
know.
on her. You look at that sprite close,
I
she's got a
didn't-
honker. They got a
There's
differentiator.
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
That's
wrong at
right.
all.
A
but
Roman
she's got a
nose,
honker.
they say.
I just like Mario exclaims, "Oh, Daisy!" Like,
Yes.
"Oh,
He is,
oh."
yes. Lots of weird stuff in that game. Fireballs are like super balls, basically.
Oh,
Koopas explode.
They explode.
A whole bunch of enemies you don't see in any
And
other
so
Mario
like that's
game.
some of the things I think would be cool to come back. Like you jump on a Koopa and it instead of like bouncing around, it explodes. So you can use that to like blow
that
things
has
up.
come back.
Cool. Glad they did that then. Glad they brought that
The
back.
Moai have come back, I guess, technically, in Super Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey. I don't remember. I don't
Um,
remember.
Tatanga. Has Tatanga come
What
back?
is
I don't-
Tatanga?
He's the alien at the end of the
He's
game.
that
Oh.
WWE wrestler from
Close
back
enough.
in the day.
Close enough.
May he rest in peace.
One letter
most
difference.
likely.
I
Right, right.
I mean like, there's limitations to this what the sprites can the
It's got
animation.
everybody's favorite star song in it.
What is
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Who knows?
And just like the way the mushrooms look, they're like, everything's pared down.
Great,
obviously.
strange one-up noise in that game. Why? I don't know. Is that what they thought the Game Boy could only do at the time? I got no idea. Love that mini game though at the end with the ladders. Doodly, 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 at the end. of
Oh,
every
if
stage.
you get to the
Bum,
top
bum,
door.
bum, 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 bum.
Yep.
Good stuff in that game. And
yeah.
also, come on, they should bring that back. The bottom and the top exit doors.
Yeah,
that's
they give
fun.
two options. Well, they
That's fun.
kind of did, right? Doesn't well, not really, but I guess
Alternate exits and stages. but
in Mario Wonder, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, and then today for the first time, no, it was
Oh,
the
was
first
it?
time. What else do you want to talk about?
Submarine level.
Yeah, it's a water level.
It's great. The fight at the end in the plane. That song at the end for the credits is really good.
I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
I just experienced it. And I don't remember it. My brain.
Stereotypically Asian song in the Asian level.
There's
And then
another
it starts
thing.
with
Yeah.
the bam, 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 bam,
Yeah,
bam.
they went heavy on that. That's a little inappropriate.
Yeah. I mean, it is them, so I guess it's not inappropriate, but that's it. It's a great game. Congratulations on beating it. It's awesome to hear you did it all these years later. One that didn't escape you. That's great.
The only way I would get through
I
it.
don't care.
No, I'm just saying that wasn't an option all those years ago.
Yes,
I had to.
You've made it abundantly clear. You use rewind. You
I'm
only
gonna
beat
be-
it because
I'm
of
gonna be talking
rewind.
about accessibility options myself. one day.
Everybody knows you beat rewind. It doesn't matter to anybody, but everybody knows it.
Yeah.
You
Actually, I get the I think probably I get like the Guinness World Record for rewinding the most
did.
in the
Amount of
game.
rewinds. But you were only rewinding it to replay your favorite sections again.
No, I rewound it to beat it. Every time I die, not every time. Once I was playing it for a while and I was like, oh yeah, like I used to play this game. And then I died at one point and I hit something and it came up and I was like, oh, I can rewind. I
Mhm.
forgot about
Mhm.
this. So then I was like, oh, that's how I play games now. But that's not what I did not use that when playing Dr. Mario.
You were
Yeah.
playing the Game Boy Dr. Mario?
I played the Game Boy Dr. Mario, and
That's where I first played it.
I don't know if it's dyslexia or something, but my brain has a problem. So when like he drops a pill in and it's two different colors, and I'm like, I'm going to put it here, and I flip it around backwards.
Colors.
What do you mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a joke about the Game Boy.
And I try to like match them up, and like I am very regularly dropping them the opposite of where I want to drop them.
Try rotating with the other button. Maybe that will help.
No, it's not. It's what I'm seeing. Like I see it, and I'm like, I want to drop it here, and I bring it over, and I just like half the time.
That original that doesn't have the ghost image, right? For
Mhm.
like where you're dropping the
It
pill?
doesn't have the ghost image, but when he holds it up, he's holding it in the orientation that he's going to give it to you.
Mhm.
And 90% of the time, this is how I play games. I like frantically press buttons. 90% of the time, he gives it to you in the way that is going to help. Not 90%.
He is a doctor.
He like, yeah. And then it made me think, oh man, we need an updated version of this game where you're trying to help a bunch of people and you're giving them exactly what they need and they just refuse it.
Yeah, I don't know if Nintendo's going to go that direction with Dr. Mario, but
But yeah, so I
they did Dr. Luigi on Wii U.
did they?
Mhm.
Oh, I
How
vaguely
weird.
remember that. Was it? It
It
was
was.
download only.
Exactly the same. Yes, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
It was for the year Luigi.
I think I did. I may have played that on the.
It
If
was
anybody
for
had
the what?
doctor's license, the year of Luigi.
Oh,
They did that during the Wii U. The poor guy got the crappiest year.
oh, the poor guy.
There's a joke with Nintendo fans that it's Luigi's fault the Wii U bombed because they had the year Luigi.
That's so funny.
But yes,
Um,
they did New Super Luigi U, Dr. Luigi, something else.
yeah.
And nothing's ever been as good.
Let's
as
just say the good doctor
first
was taking
Luigi's
some of his
Mansion.
own prescription after that year Luigi.
Yeah. So I played that, and then the last thing that I'll talk about.
Hold
is,
on. What
oh,
song were you using in Dr. Mario? Come on.
Chill.
Thank you. Chill is the correct. They're all great songs, but Chill
Was I chill playing it? Not
No,
always.
no. needs some chill pills.
Yes. Yes.
Go on.
No, but I also downloaded and paid for this thing on my phone. That's kind of like Brain Age. It's- I'm going to talk about it. I'm not.
Dr. Wakashima.
Yeah, I'm not promoting it. I'm not saying that you need to buy this. But it's called Impulse, and you can basically do tests, and it gives you like your personality trait or whatever. There's a bunch of different tests that'll give you like your kind of like where you fall on the ADHD spectrum, or like where you fall on this personality thing or that thing. But a lot of the games are games that you would see kind of like what's the game called where there's the discs and you have to get them all from like stacked from this post to that post, but like you cannot put a big disc on a small
I
disc.
know. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I know
So-
what you're talking about.
That's basically the one that I saw. And you see those style games or like a slide game as ads for different things, but like
Yes.
it's never, I don't remember what that game was that
The
came
ad
out on
that you
the
get
Switch.
is never the game that
Yeah,
you're gonna get.
but this has all those different games and they're kind of relaxing. They come up every day and it's like, play these 3 games.
A little something to keep your mind a little bit sharp.
Yeah, but like I've also just gotten into just playing some of them. Basically, there's this thing that has like a bunch of, I'll call them test tubes because that's what they look like, but they have like marbles in them. And so it's the same kind of thing. You want to take all the same colored marbles and put them in the same test tube. I've done like 150 of those.
Balls.
Is it called Fingers Suck?
It's a little nicer for me than like doom scrolling. It makes me feel like I'm doing something with my brain. That's
that brain.
that. What have you been playing, Do Michaels?
I'm desperately. Let me jump in here real quick. I'm desperately trying to think of the name of it. There's a game on Switch.
That's what I was thinking. I almost said that, but we were
the
like
one
that
that it
just-
takes the mobile game ads and makes some actual games.
Yes.
Yes, I can't remember the name of it. I really want to try.
It was
but
it was a
It's like you think you can play those games.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
now
oh, yeah,
you can.
it's like a
It's
long-
yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah, that's right. What a weird name
I
that
remember
was.
D3 Publisher put it out, so that'll get me the answer.
Do.
I played Animal Crossing New Horizons. I played a little bit of Sea House G's. I for some reason wanted to play. I wanted to try out Othello, which on
Like the
Sea House
chips,
G's
right?
is
Or
called
stones?
Renegade.
Let me jump in again. I'm so sorry. It's called Yeah, You Want Those Games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. That's what the name of the
Man,
game is.
that's a good one. And I played, but I got Renegade confused with Gomoku, which is another tile game on Sea House G's with white and black tiles. And I actually liked Gomoku better than Renegade or Othello.
Isn't that what they commit in Shogun? I will now commit Gomuku.
Yeah, one of those. But yeah, Gomoku's cool. It's kind of like a match 5. Whoever matches 5 first. It's not like you fill the whole annoying board up like in Othello. So whatever, just a little time wasting stuff. I beat Tunic, the game.
I didn't know you were
My boy's
playing that.
done it. Good for you.
You
Good
started
for
that
you.
a long time ago, right?
I did. I started a long time ago on Games Pass and then never finished it. Got frustrated. It's a very difficult game. And it came out at no additional charge. It was one of the monthly games for the PlayStation. So I downloaded it again and I decided that I would see it through this time. And I talked last week about how I've been using the accessibility feature, the no fail mode for the boss fights, because it's so difficult. And when I was playing it on the Xbox, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. But I decided, you know what? If I don't do it, I'm never going to see the ending of the game. I'm never going to experience the rest of the game, and I'm enjoying so much about it. So I did, and for the first like 4 boss fights, I turned on the no fail mode, and then after that, I never turned off the no fail mode because it gets really difficult. It gets really frustrating. I was like playing it no fail, and I was like, how does anybody do this? Like, it must have been so much trial and error for people.
It was very
It's
difficult for me.
unforgiving. And there's like enemies that like when they hit you, they don't just take your life away, they like lower your permanent life bar until you can save again. So it's just like, I mean, you couldn't make any mistakes. So I just played through a big chunk of I'd say the last quarter of the game with no fail on. But it was still fun because you're getting the instruction booklet pages. You're trying to decipher what they mean and how you could use them in the world. So I managed to get the first ending, or I guess the bad ending, as they would call it, and I know what I have to do to get the good ending, and it was a good game, so I'm glad that I played it.
Very
And-
proud that you went back to that, and very happy you went back to it, because I think that's a wonderful game.
Yeah, it really is a special game. I loved it, and I'm glad that I got over my whatever my bias was, my inferiority complex of like, if I turn this on, why am I even playing it? And then it became apparent that there was so much more than just the frustrating battles, that I could enjoy about the game. So
and that mode just helps you get through those fights. There's still like the puzzles and stuff that are very challenging.
yeah, you still have to find everything and find all the secret
Yeah, I don't think
passages.
there's accessibility for the puzzles, right? There's nothing. You got to do them or not. I
Right.
mean, like, because they probably figured you go online and look up the answers, but you can't go online and beat a boss. You can get strategies.
Yeah, so, and some of those enemies are really, really difficult. Holy
That
cow.
the boss on the top of the tower that you climb,
The
I was
librarian
there
was awesome.
so long. Obviously, the final boss I took a really long
I
time,
bet.
but that tower boss, I was like, I know what I have to do, but getting it done is so difficult. And every time you had to like walk back up to climb the tower, and I was like, this is like a death march every time. I must have done it hundreds of times easily. It was
Wow.
a couple bosses like I tried to do so many times, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna come back to this tomorrow. It's like a 2-day or a 3-day
I
process
bet.
where I was like, I just can't push myself anymore because I'm making stupid mistakes. So
I actually had to, like, because of my wrists and thumbs that hurt sometimes, I had to like pause mid boss fight and like literally just put the switch to sleep and like have lunch and then come back.
I'm with you. There were the bosses have phases in that game, and I would like there would be times where I'd get to like a second phase or a third phase, and I'm like, let me pause, let me calm down. I'm like, I know I'm going to get out of the rhythm, but I also need a minute because I'm so tense,
Yeah.
and I'm like, let me wipe my hands. Yeah, I get it.
But that music on that one boss fight, the librarian, I believe he's called, boss fight that you're talking about, was so
Yeah.
awesome. And I really like.
I want to get that
it's-
on vinyl. Like, I really want to own that soundtrack.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a
It's
cool
great.
one.
I listen to that one at least once a month when I'm working. It's so good.
It's really great.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's and the way that the camera moves around, you might not even notice it because it's so smooth, and it helps the gameplay so much that if you're not thinking about it, you would never notice it. But the way the camera moves, especially during those boss fights, is really, really great.
It's a beautiful, dynamic camera that gives you exactly what you need to see. Like obviously the game plays with camera angles a lot to hide things, but yes, it's a wonderful camera system in that game. Definitely great.
Yeah, Tunic, excellent game. I
It's on
loved playing
Switch. It's on everything. It's
Yeah.
on everything. I played it start to finish on Switch. I can vouch for that version, running really well. Dude played it on PS5. I'm sure it runs fantastic there.
Yeah, only once. Actually, only one time did I get stuck, and I had to it was like a weird environmental thing. I got like stuck in the wall.
I
and
got
that was
stuck in
strange.
something. Yeah.
But-
So yeah, I recommend. We both recommend playing it however you can. Fantastic game.
Yeah, it's great. I also played some Animal Well this week.
Nicky Hill's looking at it right now.
You mentioned it. That was the first time I ever
Yeah.
heard of it. Somebody just mentioned it in the chat.
First time you heard of it. I thought you listened to this
Radical
podcast.
Defect. Defect.
Metroidvania.
When you talked about it last week for the first time, I didn't listen to last week's show.
Yeah. Did I say I beat it then?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You're
I
playing
thought you
Animal.
beat it in like in one sitting or something.
I
you said.
beat it. I beat it quickly. It was a 5-hour thing. I think it was 2 days, maybe one,
Yeah.
or maybe 2 days at most.
It's
Yeah.
$25. Is that?
Yeah, I jumped on it when it had the early sale. It was only $22.50 or something, but I knew I was going to be getting it at some point, so I was like, let me save a couple of bucks. But yeah, it's a really good Metroidvania. For me personally, I'm very frustrated with it, but it started to click with me actually this morning a little bit.
Ooh.
There were some puzzles that I figured out that I really liked, and was kind of satisfied with. But for a big chunk of this game, me personally, I've been pretty frustrated, I have to admit. There's a very the controls are like, everything about the game is polished and great and really really nice. So the problem is me. The problem is the guy in the chair playing it. But like I was having a lot of trouble with the traversal aspects of the game, just because everything's kind of like mapped out on a graph paper. If you can think of graph paper, it's almost like this whole game is just a big piece of graph paper, and you have to be, you're trying to jump on one little block of the graph paper with a character that's as big as one of those blocks. I found a lot of the precision jumping and certain areas to be frustrating. I found some of the backtracking to be frustrating, where I had to like redo like these elaborate switch puzzles in different rooms. But that's the way I play Metroidvania games. I always miss the important stuff all the time, and I end up kind of walking around until I find what I need again. So I can't guarantee. I can probably guarantee that you won't have the same frustrating experience that I had with the game, just because I get lost in those games easily. And then when I have to backtrack, I get frustrated. And like I said, a lot of the traversal was very frustrating. But I love how it looks. I love its feel.
Did you turn off that CRT
I turned off the scan lines. So it looks really great. I like the ambient noises. It's great. I mean, all of it fits together really nice.
Spooky, mysterious well vibe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as spooked by it as
Are
I
you in a
thought I
well
would
or
be. But
something?
You are.
But it's yeah, I don't know. It's cool. And like a couple of the, even though when you open chests, it's very unceremonious. Like you don't really know what you're getting, and like you have to kind of play around with the stuff you get, and it's not really exciting stuff that you're pulling out. I don't want to give away any of the items, but like you're kind of like, what the heck is this? And then you start like pressing the Y button to use it and like experiment, and it starts to get kind of like interesting, because it's not like other Metroidvania games in that respect. Like it's you have to think a little bit outside the box to use some of these items, and some of that stuff is really really fun and cool and clicks. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to. I probably played about 4 hours. There's like a chime in the game that chimes, I believe, on the hour that you play. So I'm a little over 4 hours right now, and I'm not making a lot of headway. Like I'm stuck, and I'm frustrated. But I'm trying to stay positive, because I know it is it's a really good game. And the fact that one man made this game, like more or less,
one-man game.
I
like
saw 2 on the website, but I don't know if
it's
both made it.
really impressive from that respect. I mean, especially because it's, like I said, it's, even though I'm not good at playing it, it is like precise. Like the controls are great. The production of it, the production value of it is really really great. So
what items do you have? I'm just nosy.
So you want me to say the items?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, don't say what they do, but you can.
I've got firecrackers. I've got a bubble wand. I've got a flute. I've got the slinky, and I got a yo-yo.
So you got a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so I got a lot of stuff. And like I said, the way you use those items is kind of cool. I've been especially enjoying some of the slinky stuff.
Yes. I want to talk to you about some items in particular, but I won't, because they're spoiler. I'll save it for after. But
sure.
So it is a single person. The only other person involved is in the marketing side of
Dan Edelman.
Yes.
He used to work at Nintendo.
Yes.
He went to do stuff for other indie people. So yeah. Yep. Dan Edelman is great. Awesome. Really trumpets indie titles. So that's a great guy to have spreading the word on your game. And like I said, Donkey is the publisher. It's his first game. So, the game's getting all kinds of coverage, and deservedly so.
Yeah, I'd say if you like Metroidvanias, then you would really like this, I'm sure. And it's a unique kind of take on a Metroidvania too. So really good. Not one of my favorites so far, but I mean that's why I have my favorites and you guys have yours. So definitely worth playing anyways.
Limited run is currently taking pre-orders until June 23rd.
Yeah, do a physical release if you want. And I'm sure they have a collector's edition. I know I covered it. I just don't remember.
They do.
What's in that collector's edition?
Well, let me tell you. The game.
Scroll down. There will be a full list. There you go.
Here it is. A physical copy of Animal Well
Mm.
for Nintendo Switch. Animal Well Collector's Edition box. Rainbow laminate lithographs. Reactive acrylic display scene. A 24-inch by 36-inch full map of the game.
Oh,
That's not what you were talking about, though. You were talking about like the actual like the screen that you're in. It's like,
but there is a map.
but yeah, no. But when you were saying the grid, I was thinking original Metroid. Like
And
I would never get anywhere if I didn't do a
yeah,
map.
maybe I was confusing when I said that, but like if you look at it, just a screenshot, you can see what I mean. Like it just looks like
Pixels. And stuff, like,
yeah, it looks like somebody started this game on graph paper. They
Gotcha.
probably like planned it out and then
holographic stickers, stamp stickers, thematic journal,
Mm.
and a pen.
Not bad. Not bad. What's that? One of their 85 Johns?
$99.99.
I like the game. Not that much. I don't know that I like any game that much. Anyway, go on.
yeah, that was that. And last but not least, Fortnite has a new season, babies.
Did you guys play that already? Is it open
Oh, have we been
Started
playing?
yesterday.
at midnight or like?
It goes down for maintenance at 2 or 3 in the morning, comes back up usually 7 or 8 in the morning.
So 7 or 8 in the morning yesterday. So
Yes.
Gotcha.
We played regular people hours, yeah.
Yeah, so it's intense and crazy. Holy heck! It's like a Mad Max style thing. So there's a huge focus on upgrading vehicles. They bumped up vehicle armor and speed and nitro time, and now all you have to do is drive a vehicle into these little boxes that give you upgrades for the vehicle, like
Hi,
Like-
10th Division.
like a spiked bumper or a machine gun turret or something crazy.
Is it themed for Mad Max?
No, but it's very clearly playing off of it.
Yeah, it's like a wasteland and
There's a guy with a flaying guitar and yeah.
All that stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. You could still play the game without doing the vehicles, but like usually you end up in a vehicle. First of all, I don't know why you'd resist because it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But secondly, I tried to do a no vehicle run earlier this morning when I was playing, and like halfway through, the universe like delivered the boss vehicle to me with nobody in it, like in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, "What?" So
Yeah,
then I
you
had to
gotta,
get
yeah.
in it. But yeah, like it's so much fun to like bomb around, and there's like nitro rings that you drive through, and they give you boost for a bunch of time, and you can nitro boost while running, and you can run on water, and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. There's these fists, these metal fists that you wear that can propel you into the air and slam you back down and punch, and it's just so fun and fast and crazy. I know I'm saying crazy a
There's
lot,
no
but it's
better
like-
word to explain it. It's by far the craziest season I have played of Fortnite.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like
Yeah, but you don't play it that much.
I played a bit.
we were playing a foursome last night, and we finally got this car pimped out or something. We were like, what should we do?
We got the boss. Oh, go ahead. I don't know what story you're telling.
I think was it the boss car? I was good when we drove
Two
all the
separate
way.
cars.
We drove all the way across the map to get to this bunker.
Oh yes, no, yeah,
And like
regular
we
car.
get to the bunker, and it's like, oh, the coast is clear, and then all of a sudden, literally 3 other teams somehow in pimped out cars come like diverging from different. I mean, I don't know how. I guess everybody did the same thing we did.
We
They
all came from other
upgraded-
corners of the map
Yes.
somehow.
upgraded a car, saw that as soon as it was upgraded, this bunker was open, and we all went there and converged, and it was just like an insane pileup. It was just wild.
Well, I
wild
got
stuff.
out of the car first and went to go run in the bunker. And as I was running in, I was like, someone's in there, someone's in there. And I ran and I turned around and I see another guy driving down the street over here, another guy coming over the mountain. I was like, why are so many people?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really, really fun. I'm looking forward to playing more this season, with the team, because I think we're gonna have a good time. There's a bus that you can hijack. There's this bus that has like 2 turrets of like cannons on the top. So we hijacked the bus and we were driving around for a while, just like looking for. We never look for people to kill. Like we're always running away. We were like looking for people, trying to blow them away. Like cars are exploding, people are flying in the air, flying through the air.
And like the bus is blasting. Like if you leave the radio on, it's blasting like Metallica or Joan Jett or what,
Yeah.
like, so everybody that's near the bus hears this music blasting out of it. It's got like a horn that sends out an electromagnetic pulse and it deactivates cars and takes away people's shields, so even the driver can like do something while they're
it's a lot of fun. Holy cow.
We always have fun in Fortnite. I can't remember the last time I've had that much fun in a game multiplayer. It might be the most fun I've ever had multiplayer in a game.
It was cool.
Especially that last game we played last night, because it was nonstop insanity start to finish, but like the kind of like funny, like crazy laughing insanity. It's just like people everywhere driving around in cars, running over people, like blowing things up, like driving on top of building. It was pure mayhem. There's not even the right words to describe it. It was just off the walls insanity. And it was a blast.
It's a lot of fun. This would be the season for people to start playing Fortnite, I think.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, I mean, I always say, we've had people in the chat that are like, hearing you guys talk about it, I jumped in and I'm having a lot of fun. This would be a great one to do it because you have so many other ways to approach situations now with the cars and adding in the guns to cars, so you can sit in a car and shoot people. You don't even have to worry about getting out. There's so many ways to get around and so many ways to do things now, on top of what was already there. So we talk about it all the time. I mean, there's a reason why we've talked about Fortnite on this podcast for years, because it has that staying power, because they always manage to do something fun, and in some ways they manage to improve the game in ways you couldn't even imagine. And they add in things that surprise and shock and completely change certain dynamics. So they know what they're doing. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. The battle pass, personally, this season doesn't excite me. Usually it never really does, but like I don't know if you looked through it, but like there's not even like an emote that I'd be excited.
There's one emote that I was kind of that I'm interested in, but not like crazy. If it was in the shop, I don't think I'd buy it right away, but I'd be like, I kind of want it. And then I would never play as the Magneto skin, but I like that Magneto's in there.
Me
so
too. I was about to say the Magneto, Wasteland Magneto is kind of cool, but I'm not really want to play as that either.
Freddie Fro says we started playing because of you guys, inching close to about 1,000 hours now. Loving this season so far. Well, yep. I don't know what my playtime is, but it's I've never played any game more ever. That's not even a question. I don't need to check. Without a doubt, I've never played any game more.
Yeah, it's got to be up there for me too at this point. I mean, that and Animal Crossing.
It's kind of like Madonna, the way they keep reinventing it themselves,
So like 20 more years and then it's going to get really weird.
But it's amazing how, they reinvent it, but it's still so much fun. Like they don't screw up much, like
there's no season that I've experienced where I'm like, this is not fun. This is a bummer. They've ruined everything. There may be a couple of things where like, I wish this was still here, or I don't really like this part of it, but by and large, there's so much stuff for you to do, and the bulk of it is going to be enjoyable in some way. But this season is like a shotgun blast of like so much fun stuff that you don't know what you want to do because you want to do all of it at the same time. So,
have you gone back to Fortnite Lego?
No, I haven't. Just because it's like Minecraft for me. Like there was a time where I was really playing it, really enjoying it, and then I started playing something else, and then I was like, I really liked it. Nothing stopped me
No,
from
I'm
playing
just
it.
curious to know if it's
haven't
still
gone
as
back.
popular as it was when it first launched.
Yeah, when you see player counts when I'm in there, and it's of the spin-offs that they have in Fortnite, that's always the highest. There's like I've seen 200,000 people playing. I've seen 50,000. It all depends on when you're playing, but that's always number one.
Well, thanks for listening to me talk about what I played. RMC, talk about what you played.
Thanks for asking. I also played Fortnite too, and I talked about it. Unbelievably fun season. We've played literally the first day, and I know we're both chomping at the bit to get back into it. So I played yesterday. Mom Brain is not here, as I said. So usually I play, or I'm hanging out with Mom Brain and we go do something, but she's not here. So I was like, I guess I'll go hop on and play a game early. I was like, I want to try out the new season, and I know my mom's itching to play Fortnite, so I called her. She's like, yeah, we went
Your
in there
mom
and played.
plays Fortnite.
So we played, had a great time. She hadn't played the new season yet, and I also had only played one game. So we were learning together. It was great. Just like, what do these fists do? What does this nitro do? What is this? All that fun stuff. By the way, the nitro is awesome if you use it on yourself, as Deux said you can. But when you use it on yourself, you can literally run through walls. You just run full steam at a wall and run through it. If it's a metal wall, it takes 2 hits, but it's a lot of fun. So you can just like run through a house and take out somebody. You drove into a house yesterday and somebody was in there. That was great.
Yeah, that's another thing I love is with the nitro, you could just drive through stuff. So it's not like you have to worry about like being reckless, and you could just plow through. But yeah, I did some of that nitro this morning, and I was running and I rounded a corner and there was a guy there, and I ran right through him and eliminated. He just like disappeared. He like shredded and I didn't mean to do it.
Last night we had a car full of people, so we had 4 people in a car. Deux was driving, and he went to drive right through a house, and I saw on the top floor was Spider-Man, and I was like, somebody's in a house. Right before you smash into it, Deux took out the ceiling of that, or the floor of that floor. So the guy dropped down right next to the car, and we all just got out and just there's nothing he could do. Like we just blew into the house and took him out.
Is there a chance that that's on Deux Views YouTube?
Did you save a clip?
I didn't save that clip.
I saved some clips, but not of that. Because as great as the moment as that was, it pales in comparison to the other crazy stuff that's going on.
I really couldn't focus on just one great moment because it was all so moment to moment craziness. We were up on the island. There's this island in the sky that like comes halfway through the game, and you can like get yourself up there with like a teleport, and you secure the island, and you can go into the basement of the house that's on the island. And I'm in this basement upgrading my weapons, and RMC is out somewhere, and I'm
on the edge of the island looking down.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, they just drove a car into the portal. They're coming up in a car onto the sky island, and I'm in the basement. So I'm like, oh well, I'm in the basement. I'm just gonna finish. Like I literally wrote off what he said, and I finished upgrading, turned around, and this car comes crashing right through into the basement. Like it was insane.
And the best part about all this is, I didn't know until later. I was watching a completely different car. So I told that to him. The car that dropped down was another car from somewhere else that got him.
So at the same moment, 2 teams converge with cars in the portal.
Because the car I watched took the portal, flew through the air, and landed back down on the ground. The car that hit him drove up behind me and knocked me off the island. And I said, I didn't even know a car was up here. And Dude's like, what do you mean? You told me the car was here. I was like, I saw a completely different car.
It was crazy.
Because I couldn't make any sense of it, because all the other 3 people on the team thought I was talking about the car that was driving around by them. It's craziness. It's craziness. So, but in the best way possible. Obliterating the world with cow catchers was my favorite part of Fortnite. Good to hear they brought back something equivalent. 10th Division, I got great news for you. There's the spike bumper and the cow catcher. So the cow catcher has returned. That's better for buildings. There's the spike bumper that's better for killing people, but both will take down houses, especially if you nitro. So
yeah, that's really
enjoy.
good.
Hi, Buck. Good to see you. So yes, I played Fortnite. As you can tell, we're talking about a ton because we had so much fun. It was a blast.
And
so I played that.
Just a shout out to my Yoda back bling. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I swear, it's like Yoda is listening to us talk. because
It's
we'll
so
say
good.
things about the game and Yoda has reactions and he does them randomly, but it'll be like a or like a or stuff like that. And somehow it's always when we say something that he makes it so much funnier every time.
Yeah, it's almost like he's responding to what we're saying, and it's always perfect.
Yeah, I'll be like, there's a guy coming up the stairs, and you hear like, or something.
It's so
Maybe.
good.
Perfect, huh?
Maybe it is listening, right?
It's not listening. No,
Yeah, it's not at
It's
first.
based on what you're doing.
When I first had it, I was like, if maybe he does it when enemies are around, but it wasn't that. It's a very specific moments. He'll giggle when you do shield, and then he'll go.
So are you controlling his reactions
by what you're doing?
Not.
But he's not. No, he's not
I'm not-
answering us.
I'm not doing it on purpose. It's
Oh.
just like I'll be opening chests, and like if you like ammo will come out, and if you have full ammo, he'll be like or something, and it just happens to be in response to one of something
Also,
we've been saying.
we have terribly inappropriate names for everything. Stupid, like teenager names. Like there's the Flowberry Fizz bottle, which sprays out shield everywhere. And we call it the Jizz bottle just because we're stupid. But like, I think it was yesterday. I was like, if anybody wants to get jizzed, I'm ready. And Yoda was like,
yeah, it's amazing, man. It's so much fun.
So good.
It's really fun.
But anyway, played Fortnite. It's great as always. What's new there? Finished Animal Well, as I said last week. I wrote my review, so you can go read that if you want. I started a game called Master Key yesterday. It doesn't have to be black and white. It can be whatever. There's a whole bunch of different two-tone color schemes you can pick. But it is very greatly influenced by classic Legend of Zelda games. So it's like a top-down, old-school 2D Zelda with puzzles. But the puzzles are definitely more involved here than they are in your classic Zelda game. They'll be block pushing puzzles and like flipping switches puzzles just like there were in Zelda, but these are like a layer more difficult, which I appreciate. So if you like classic Zelda, this comes out on Switch May 31st. I'm doing a review. It's out on Steam now. If you like classic Zelda, so far I will say you're going to love this game. I've played plenty of games that are like classic Zelda, but this one in particular really made me feel like it brought back that feeling of classic Zelda. There's something about the map and something about the puzzles, and something about the ambient sounds of it. It just feels right. Like I was very much transported back to that feeling of when I was a kid, specifically playing like Oracle of Ages and Seasons. It feels like that. It's great. Like I was like, let me check this out. I'll play it for an hour. So I put in like 2.5 hours and I beat the first dungeon and I was like, okay, I got to stop here. But
what's the name of the game again?
Master Key is what it's called. I don't know what other platforms it's going to other than Switch, but Switch is the 31st. Obviously, Switch is the system for it because it's so Zelda related. It's really, really good. It very closely mimics the gameplay you enjoyed from classic Zelda games. So if that's your jam, especially, like I said, Link to the Past or Oracle of Ages or Seasons, if that's the kind of Zelda you like, but with more difficult puzzles and more intricate secrets, then this is for you.
How are the graphics? Game Boy-esque?
They're like Oracle of Ages and Seasons, but less
Good,
colors.
good.
So even worse for you.
Even greater.
But yeah, it's awesome. Really enjoying it. And like I said, I've played a lot of these before, but this one really puts me in that mindset. I really feel like it.
Can you map multiple items to multiple buttons?
Yes, that is not a thing.
Okay.
Every button is an item, and I don't quote me on this, but I only have 2 items so far, so I don't know.
Mhm.
But it looks like you'll be able to put them where you want.
Okay.
But yes, shoulder buttons and all the face buttons, they're all used. So none of that go to the menu swap in and out.
That was actually something I forgot to mention about Animal Well that I thought it should have had.
10 Division, it's called I forgot the name. Master Key. Sorry, I wanted to say that before.
It's okay. Yeah, Animal Well, you have to use the shoulder buttons to cycle through your items.
Yes.
Once I figured that out, it wasn't a problem, and it's kind of like a slow-paced game anyways. It's a little more methodical, but yeah, I mean, it could have had that if I had. Well, I've got many criticisms, but if you had one criticism, maybe, and you don't even care.
That was a game changer with Mega Man. So Mega Man on the NES, you had to pause to choose, and then when Super Nintendo came out, and Mega Man X came out, you could do shoulder buttons to swap through, and I was like, this is the future.
Dr.
It's not
Light
going to get any better
came
than this.
through.
Yeah, right. Again, Master Key is the name of the game. I will have a review as soon as I finish it. I'm not rushing it. Don't know how long it is, but got nothing but praise for it right now. So I played that. I played a little bit of Alleyway. I talked about Alleyway last week. Alleyway is the Game Boy game that just joined Switch Online. I used to play it as a kid all the time. Completely forgot about it until they added it to the Switch Online Game Boy library. So I went in and played, saved my spot where I am, which is something you couldn't do in the old one. So that's lovely. I don't think I ever beat that game back in the day because I just, missed the balls and game over. So it's nice to be able to save and continue. But, you're hitting a ball with a paddle. That's all you're doing. But I love it. And man, was it nostalgic hearing those noises and the little music jingles that come up in the bonus stages. All stuff that I lost to memory, but it came back instantly when I saw it. So Blinded by Daylight. Good to see you. Master Key has a demo. Yes, that is correct. And I believe it's the demo out now on Switch. I know it's on Steam. I don't remember. You're right, SD. This is a very balls-centric podcast today. So I played Alleyway. Great trip down memory lane. Great time killer. Pick it up and play like a level or two. And that's that. Still holds up. Good games stand the test of time. So I played that. And then I only played one other thing. And I've been so excited to talk about this game. I know someone in the Discord, please forgive me.
Radical
Defect. I know you've been excited for me to talk about it because we talked about it on Patreon. I have completed 1000 Resist. I hope anyone that listens to this podcast knows when I share enthusiasm for something, it's genuine. And when I share statements, it's not hyperbole. I mean it. This is easily the best visual novel / narrative adventure I've ever played by, as they say, a country mile. No doubt about that.
That's longer than a city mile.
That's right. Because it's all dirt roads. Now here's where I'm going to get into what sounds like hyperbole for people who don't know me. This is one of my favorite games of all time, easily. This could be in the conversation of my favorite game of all time, a number one game.
What?
This is this studio's first game. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And Radical Defect has played it and says, "Preach, my brother, preach." This game is so phenomenal on every single level. The story that it tells is, I really don't want to get into spoilers. I'll talk surface level stuff. It is so intricate and so moving and so meaningful and so introspective and so engaging. I don't even know where to begin with this game. Again, I want to talk about some story stuff, but from a surface level. You are a girl, and she
Spoiler alert.
She lives in a facility with other women. Let's say it's futuristic.
Girl interrupted.
And they all have jobs. Like one is a knower because they know things, and one is a fixer because they fix things. And there's another one. I'm not going to say their name because whatever. But there's these.
We call them occupants.
All these girls. Well, you're getting ahead of me, and you're definitely getting ahead of yourself.
Well, it's just in the description.
They live in this facility. Go ahead, read the description. Let's see what that says.
I have a feeling it's going to have what you like spoilers or something. For as what?
No. If they put the description, then I don't count it as a spoiler.
The 3-time IGF award. Whoa, accolades. Award nominated 1000 Resist is a thrilling sci-fi adventure. 1000 years into the future, humanity is all but extinguished, and disease spread by an alien occupation keeps their survivors underground. You are Watcher. You dutifully fulfill your purpose in service of the All-Mother until the day you learn a shocking secret that changes everything.
That's why these people write the description, because that's a great description and it gives you nothing as well.
Now,
I think this description was written by ChatGPT.
It sounds very sci-fi futuristic. What if that's not your favorite genre? Will you still enjoy it?
It is. Yeah, I'm confused by that. You're not into sci-fi?
No,
Yeah.
I am.
Oh.
I'm just asking for
Oh.
because you're saying like I know it's not hyperbole, but it's like one of my favorite games of all
The
time.
sci-fi setting has
So-
nothing to do with my
and
interest.
you're saying like no matter who you are, play the game, blah blah blah, which is great. But what if somebody doesn't like sci-fi?
the sci-fi
and
of this has
futuristic
nothing to
stuff.
do with it. It happens to take place in a
The
sci-fi
All
setting.
Mother. Something's going on with that All Mother. She sounds futuristic.
It's a name for someone.
Okay.
Yes, the sci-fi aspect, like the sci-fi setting, you know, like I guess on a very base level, there's the people, the women, and the aliens have invaded Earth. Sure, that's the sci-fi setting, but I don't want to say that's not what this is about, but that's not what this is
Are
about.
people
And it's-
not that anyone's gonna I hope people play the game and I'm planning on checking it out myself, but you're not gonna see it's not popular enough yet that people are gonna be crapping on it on the internet. Are they gonna crap on it because it's about women? Is it like that
Well,
kind of
it's
centric
about-
story?
It's about women, so of course they're going to crap on it because it's about women. But is it just about women? No. It's about so many things and in great detail. Like there are men in the game. There's men all over the game, but in this facility, it's just women for reasons I'm not going to say. But yeah, there is like there's a very important thread about women in general, but there's important threads in this game about so much that I don't want to say. Like there's so much more to this game than the aliens. That's not what the game is about. It's a metaphor for something in the game, without a doubt. The game is filled with metaphors. And to say they are not heavy-handed does not do this game service because, again, this is going to sound like hyperbole. Books, TV shows, movies, games. I have never experienced a piece of entertainment that so deftly navigates all of this stuff. I can't even begin to understand how a team of people wrote this. This is like what's his face at Naughty Dog? Like what did he say?
Druckmann.
You know, it's going to help people see whatever his
I don't
statement
know. It
was.
was something about
But
it's gonna
his
change video
grandiose
games
talk
forever or something.
yeah, okay, so he says that this is that game, but it's so many people aren't going to play this game because it's a narrative adventure or visual novel, whatever you want to call it.
How much gameplay is there?
It's the gameplay is like Life is Strange. That's what I would put it to. There's no puzzles to solve or anything.
Are there choices to make that affect the story?
Okay, so I don't know to the degree that the choices affect. There's one portion in particular where the choices very much affect it, but there are dialogue options that you always have all the time that will lead the story down different paths and you'll hear different things. But you can also ask everybody anything. Obviously, there's certain instances where someone asks you a question, you have one chance to respond. There's no game over. There's no penalty, anything like that. But what I told you was, or what I'll tell you is I took the approach of what I honestly wanted to know. So like, there'll be like 4 or 5 questions that you could potentially ask somebody. And I'm like, I want to know all this, but which one do I want to know most? So I took that route. Really, it's the most. This is like an unbelievable achievement for entertainment. And like I said, it's their first game. I want to interview the team behind it so bad. I went to the developer's Twitter account yesterday after I finished the game to tweet them and be like, I don't remember what I said exactly, but it was praising the game. And they liked the tweet and they retweeted it on the official account. People do not know about this game, and I don't fault them because it's coming out at a time when there's a lot of great games. There's a lot to keep people busy. This so deserves to be in the conversation. There's so many games that I hate to see be left behind and not talked about on a grand scale and become hidden gems or whatever. If this one if that happens to this one, this is going to be more heartbreaking than anything else I can think of in the game industry. Like, this is unbelievable. It's crazy.
Again, I love the passion, and I'm gonna look into this. I want to play this game, and I hope others do. But like, you're talking about it like it's this important thing. If like some gamer that plays Call of Duty
Yeah, it's not
happens
for
to
them.
play
It's not
this,
for them.
they're not going to like it, right?
Oh well,
it's not
no,
like
no, I
it's
don't wanna
not like
say that.
everyone's just going to play this and like, oh my god, my mind's blown
No,
because
there's going to
it's
be people who
changing.
hate it. Yeah, because they're going to be
forever.
like, when do I shoot something? When do I jump on something? Yeah, this is a story game. Do not go into this game if you're looking for something more than story. This is a story game, start to finish. You are being told a story. You're working through a story. So if you're not into narrative adventures, do not play this game.
So what,
it makes me
what's gonna
sad to say
change-
that, but
if this became popular, what would change about video games? Like, what's is that an answerable question, or
it's not. See, like it's not even change. It's not even change. It is change video games, but it like I swear to God, like it changes. I've never felt like this about a piece of entertainment, and I feel things about entertainment all the time. I've never seen something navigate so much stuff like this game has, and it shows. You know, I haven't experienced every book or every movie or every TV show, but for this, like, it's opened my eyes to how much more we can do, you know, with games, but with stories in general. Like, I can't even understand how the game was made. I can't fathom how this could be told in a book or a movie or a TV show where it wouldn't lessen some of the impact because you're going through the game and you're experiencing things and making decisions. So passively seeing someone else do that, I'm sure it would still have a very grandiose impact, but you navigating the story yourself adds something to it. I really, there's so much to say and so little ways to say it, and I don't want to spoil things, but there are so many themes explored, and some of them you don't even realize until you're like 5 hours into the game.
about how long did it take you to finish?
It's a longer narrative game, so I don't know what Life is Strange is if you ran all 5 episodes start to finish. What do you think it is? You guys played it. Yeah, 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 to 8 or something.
This, I think, I put it in between 10 to 15. I think I'd go there. I will tell you, when I thought the game was going to end, I was at like a third of the game, and I was like, boy, if it ended there, I would have missed so much here. But it's unbelievable. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced, in the fact that it is like a creation of people. Like, the story has beauty in it too, but the story has sadness and melancholy and excitement, and like,
Is there a moment where the All Mother looks at the camera and goes, "That's why we 1000x resist"?
you know, there's no moments that took me out of it. It's true. And you would think with 10 to 15 hours of content, there'd be something where you're like, that didn't resonate, that didn't land, that didn't hit, that took me out of the moment. Not a single thing stood out to me or took me out of the experience. Not a single thing felt out of place.
Is the title explained? Does the title make sense after playing the game?
To me, yes.
Okay, good.
And I'd say it makes sense in multiple ways. Yes.
Good. So it's not just a clever name.
I would say it's a very clever name, but yes, I think, and I'm thinking of you in particular, I think you
Please
coming
do.
out the other end of this game, you will have at least 1 or 2 explanations for the game's name. Yes. There's no point in the game where you talk to a character and they're like, and that's why 1000 resist. But yes, you'll get something. That's
like
why you
resist as in-
1000x resist.
Is it like resist as in like
Is this a joke?
Ooh.
no?
Okay. Well,
Like-
then I'm not going to answer.
Okay.
Blinded by Daylight asks, "Is this game coming for Fragile Cream Dreams' crown?"
This game is Fragile. I love Fragile Dreams. This game is so far ahead of everything I've ever played. So far ahead. Now, in terms of traditional gameplay, no, obviously it's not, because a narrative adventure. But as far as storytelling in a game, light years beyond everything else. Light years. The second this is announced physical, I'm spending whatever the biggest version I can get is. That's what I'm getting. I need to.
You hear that limited run?
Like,
you can go
wait, so
$1,000.
This is the game you
What
put
if it's
in a time capsule and give
$99?
to the future. I don't care if it's $1,000. I'm gonna put it. I'm not.
earlier.
I'm not
We're
lying.
gonna clip it.
Obviously, if it was $1,000, I'd be like, "This is ridiculous." But I am putting it on my credit card to get it.
Wow.
This-
$1,000 just to ship this into space
This
in a time
is-
capsule?
Like, I'm gonna get physical with this game. That's right. That's the this I will sing the praises of this game till the day I die. I will shout it from the rooftops. I am dying for anyone else I know to play it, to talk about it.
But you would never. I mean, you're not going to replay it ever, right? Do you think you could replay it?
I would very gladly watch someone play it, just like Life is Strange. I would not replay it. I will listen to the soundtrack again. There's other things I should talk about now, like the soundtrack. I'm listening to the official soundtrack now. $1,000. That's great. Backseat Studios.
Can't resist.
The soundtrack has, I think, 74, 75 tracks in it because it's a long game. Soundtrack is every bit as good as the game itself. The soundtrack is stellar. Son of a bitch, is the soundtrack good. And there's one song in particular in the game that has lyrics because it's part of the story. Boy, does that song hit you hard in the game. I was tearing up listening to the song in the game because of the lyrics and what's happening. And as soon as it's the song in the trailer, you watch the trailer for the game.
Yeah.
But when you play the game, like now I watch that trailer and I have to fight back tears.
Are there others? Is the soundtrack mostly, because that was like a real song, like with lyrics and stuff? Are there?
That is the only song in the game that I remember that has lyrics.
Okay.
The other songs the soundtrack's phenomenal. There's songs with a beat, there's songs without a beat. There's a lot of beautiful piano pieces. There's electronic stuff. There's stuff that reminds you of like I don't know, let's say Blade Runner or stuff in that genre.
Vangelis.
Man, such an incredible soundtrack. I could do podcasts on end about this game. I would love to do a side podcast where we just cover this game and talk about story beats and chapters. And it's 10 chapters long. You can save pretty much whenever you want. So if you need to take a break, you can. This is like the one of those games where I never wanted to stop playing. But every time, I do a chapter or 2 chapters and I'm like, I don't want to rush the story here. I really don't. So I'd save and stop. I wrote a Patreon about it earlier this week where I said, SD, April Fool's Day, you got it. I wrote a Patreon where I said one night I played and the story pieces that I saw were so heavy that I was like, I need to stop here. Like, I don't feel right continuing on. Like, I need to mentally take a break from this game because of the stuff that it threw at me in the chapters that I played. I was like, if I continue to play, I'm not going to process things right. I'm not going to think of things to the level that they deserve to be thought of. So I took the night off and the next day I went back to it, but that was after I really thought about stuff and I was like, holy crap, man, the stuff this game is doing to me is, I apologize, wild. I'm like, a piece of entertainment has never made me think like this ever. And it's not, I could cry talking about it. It's beautiful. I can't understand how people came together to make this thing. I don't know how many people were involved in the narrative creation. I think that the credits listed 2 people, but I'm sure there's more input story-wise in it. But I think it was 2 people.
And this is Fortnite?
Fortnite, yeah. The new season's crazy. But I don't think I'm wrong. I know I've said it already. I believe this is the studio's first game. I don't know how this is your first game. I don't get it. I don't know what, I need to know what pieces of entertainment these people have consumed leading up to this, because it obviously influenced what they made, because that's how the world works. It's going to be I know it's going to be one of those games that people don't play because it doesn't have the marketing buzz. It's got a publisher that I know, but people don't know the publisher. There's no marketing budget for this. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's on Steam and it's on Switch. Man, I don't even know what else to say. What's up?
Don't read any user reviews on Metacritic.
Oh, I'm curious. The Steam average was at 98%. I know that.
Oh.
Now I am going to go because I have beat the game. Well, let's do this. 1,000 resist Steam my phone must think I'm having a stroke all the time because when I type stuff, it takes whatever garbled words I put in there and it's like, this is what you mean. 98% on Steam. 98%. Very positive review. 98%. This developer's name is Sunset Visitor. They only have one game on Steam. And that's it. You could buy the Super Edition for $26, which includes the soundtrack, or the regular game for $20. So let me go horrify myself. Metacritic. 1,000.
Actually, it's
resist.
84.
That's really good. Metacritic, it's like going to IMDb for something.
Right.
Top tier IMDb is like high 8s, low or mid 8s. So yeah, that's good. But you said don't go to user, and 9 people did it. Yeah. It's 9 users. So yeah, again, nobody knows about this game, and it's killing me. Don't read it. Don't go to the Metacritic and
so how do you get
right
people,
off the bat the first review?
How do we get people to play this game then?
I'm trying my damnedest right now. I'm gonna reach out to the team. I sent the publisher an email, and I was like, I said I'm gonna write a review. I have to write. I don't know how I'm gonna write this review this week. I really don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna tackle it. It's gonna be the hardest review I've ever written. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know how I'm going to shut myself up.
You mean you're going to be the hardest while writing it that you've ever written?
That too, definitely. I don't know how I'm going to be succinct. But I told the publisher, I have a review coming this week. I'll link you in when it's live. I said I'm going to link you to the podcast discussion right now. So they're going to hear that, which is great. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But I told them, I was like, I've never experienced a piece of entertainment like this. This game is phenomenal. I was like, I'm so excited to talk to people about this. And I was like, I want to do it all. I want to talk to the developers.
Maybe you can get an interview with them.
I'm sure I can. And that's not me tooting my own horn. That's what publishers do. They're like, if there's anything you need and you want to do an interview, reach out. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I am going to be embarrassed to talk to them because my questions are going to be so dumb versus what they put together. I'm going to try so hard to put together meaningful questions, and I have a million of them. Sorry, Nicky Hill. But I'm going to feel embarrassed sending them questions because I'm going to be like, you've created what I consider to potentially be the greatest piece of entertainment I've ever experienced in my life. And I'm going to ask you questions like, how long did it take you to make this? I'm going to write down hundreds of questions and then whittle it down to 10 and be like, here's my monkey brained questions for you guys. But
who mows the lawn at your headquarters?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good question.
The one question I keep in my mind is, where do you go next? I don't see I don't know what you do. I'd be like, I'm a developer. I make this game. I put this out and be like, this is what I have to give the world, and goodbye. I'm never making anything ever again.
I'm trying. You were talking about it. It made me think. I can't remember the name of the filmmaker or what the movie was.
Please don't go read the Metacritic reviews. You're going to spoil things for yourself. Do not do it.
They were a little later in life, maybe. Well, later in life, they were in like their 40s or 50s or something. And
bad news for us.
They made a film that was like panned for the longest time because of the response. He just was done. It's his first film, and he's just like, I'm done.
I want to say the guy who did Night of the Hunter.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Night of the Hunter, and he's like, I'm out. I hate you people. Goodbye. And then he passed away, and his movie is like a benchmark for so many people, inspiration for countless.
This game is so good that I'm sure it will have its moment,
but I
fear it's going to be 20 years.
I do not wish the developers that they leave this plane without knowing the response, but I just hope that people actually respect it for what it is.
They are. It's very clear that the people who have played this game are moved to it to a degree where they go to the Twitter and are like, I need to let you know how much this moved me. And they're seeing it. They know.
To a bigger house.
They definitely know. Yeah, these people are. This game's not going to make any money. I can't this is going to be a killer because I know it's not going to sell. I wanted to have that moment where somebody big on the internet talks about it and it clicks. You need a Donkey or a Moist Critical or some, just somebody big. I'm trying to think of other gaming. You're not going to get a Twitch streamer who's play this because they're all. I'm not knocking Twitch streamers who play first-person shooters and all that. That's great. That's fun. I love Fortnite. I play all the regular stuff too. but I can't think of a big name Twitch streamer that's going to play this, that's going to reach an audience and convince them to play it.
They're the ones that would have to do it. What if like Miyamoto played it and liked it and
He
tweeted?
doesn't play anything.
He doesn't.
He goes in his garden and plays his banjo. Like, I'm trying to, is there a game developer that could play it and trumpet it? Maybe if the Naughty Dog guys played it, maybe if Neil Druckmann played it, but he's not going to sway that many people, really. I don't think.
Well, and he's not going to like it because he wants to be the one who changes
Neil
the face
Druckmann,
of video games.
So
forever.
he put out a whole thing yesterday. He shared the whole statement, and I need to look into it more, but it was unclear if he was saying Sony edited what he said and it came out bad, or he did a poor editing job and it came out bad. He released the whole statement. What he said makes perfect sense.
Okay, good.
So go read that.
I was worried that we were going to have another Molyneux on.
I
our
read the
hands.
whole statement. It makes so much context was taken out. It's perfectly fine. Neil Druckmann, if he played this game, I'm sure he would be like, "I've wasted my life. I've made garbage compared to this."
Wow.
I'm sure. I don't know the man. I would say on a very fundamental basis, he would play this and be like, "This is what games can be." I have no doubt about it. Because The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2, phenomenal experiences, amazing games, so much to glean from them, so much to learn, watershed moments for gaming. What 1000 Resist does with its story compared to The Last of Us, it's night and day. And I love The Last of Us. It's night and day. Radical Defect says there's a literal language this game gives you, like hair to hair, quote, hair to hair. You and I know what it means, but nobody else does. It's the same with the title and everything else about it. It's a great way of putting it. There's things that this game says that makes up phrases that mean things in the game. And in my life, I'm going to want to say them because now they mean something to me, but nobody's going to know what I'm saying. Like you're saying, yeah, like hair to hair and
I saw Avatar. I know what hair to hair
6
is.
to 1 and like there's
I'm old enough.
Radical Defect. You know,
Is it the same as
Oh wait, no, that's tail to
Never
tail. I only watched it once.
like that thing that they talk about in Requiem for a Dream?
ass to ass.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to
I
say
could
it.
gush on forever. I will stop myself, but it's going to be very hard not to always go overboard when talking about this game. Do you two or anybody in Discord have any questions? I'll talk more about it on the after show.
I don't want to hear anything more about it.
I guarantee
You know how I feel. Like you're excited about it, and now I'm just scared.
I
that
just
I'm gonna
need to
just-
stress-
I'm in
you
your
guys
boat.
know I get excited about things all the time. For me to love things is not a new thing. For me to really go nuts about things is
No.
not a new thing. I know you guys already get it, but I need to stress this is so far beyond that. And this is not a video game thing. This is an entertainment thing. This is one of the most meaningful, beautiful,
This is better
monumental pieces of entertainment I've ever experienced.
better than Neon Genesis
Yes.
Evangelion for you.
Yes. Now, in what a story does, there are similarities, not in how the story is told, but like themes and how things are explored. There's common threads between the two. I would stake my life on these people having seen that anime. Not that they're related, but Neon Genesis, yeah, like there's no contest. There's no contest, and I would say, as a whole, 1000 Resist is easier to parse than Neon Genesis is. I didn't come out of 1000
Better
Resist where I'm like, what does this mean? What did I just see? There are a couple things here and there where I'm like, this can mean a whole bunch of things that I don't know. I'm not sure. I've gone to read discussions for more information. There's none because nobody's talking about the game.
I really want to be more like aware of things, but lately, just the way my attention is and the way I comprehend things, I feel like I'm missing it. I mean, not even lately. It's been my whole life.
Well, this is the great time to play the game because
Like-
nobody's playing it. And if you don't understand anything, you can't get anything other than what's going on in your own head. So you're forced to.
Yeah.
There's plenty of moments in the game where you're like, what's happening here? But as you go on, you're like, oh, this is because of this, and this happened because of that thing. And then other things happen. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was going on. And yeah, there wasn't any point where I was like, I don't know what's happening. This doesn't make any sense, and I'm annoyed. But there are plenty of moments where you're learning things that only exist in this universe, but they make sense. But like I said, there's so many metaphors to real life events and real life experiences and things we've all experienced. And man, Radical Defect, you and it's clear the game affected us in the same way. Like the sadness I feel for the fact that I will most likely in my life never experience anything that gets anywhere close to what this does. I hope I'm wrong about that, but it's taken me 40 plus years to get to this. I'm just happy that my 40 plus years got me to this because, man, I have so much to say and I got nothing to say. So I'm going to cry talking about it. It's incredible. I'm going to stop myself there because I've done a lot, but
My body is
after
ready.
show, I'll hop right back on the train. So that's what I've played this week. So I'm in that pit that we've all experienced where you're like, this was such an experience. I don't want to do anything ever again, but I just threw myself right back into stuff like I was like, let me play Alleyway. Let me play this Master Key game. And I'm having fun and it's great. But
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, it's like, they're not as good as this other thing. So I don't know. But what I do know is we got questions from you guys. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
Goninpod@gmail.com. They can be about video games, Nintendo in general, or wherever the hell you want them to be about.
That's a good question.
Rosemary the Farmer's got a question, and they say, hello, internet friends. Quick one today. What is your dream Fortnite collab? We both say Zagreus from Hades would work really well. And personally, I think Sailor Moon would be fun. Sailor Moon is like ripe for it. There's enough characters. Yeah, what's that guy's name? You know, the top hat guy. He's got a funny name, and I always forget. It's a great name. Mustache top hat. I don't remember what his name is. What is our Fortnite dream collabs?
Golden Girls.
Say it all the time. Golden Girls.
Golden Girls is number one.
You can have a whole squad of Golden Girls.
A whole squad.
I want
God.
nothing more than that. Golden Girls. I'm dead serious. I want Golden
dead
Girls.
serious.
What do you get, like a purse to smack people with?
Oh my
Your
god, that
purse
would be
back bling. Yeah,
amazing.
it's right
Imagine
there.
the back bling and like the pickaxe that you'd have would be so great.
And it's one of the few skins collections where I don't care which one I am. I'll be Ma. I'll be Blanche.
Oh my
I'll be
God.
Dorothy. I'll be what's her face?
Rose.
But
I'll be them all. They're all great. I don't care. I'll be
It's-
any of them.
Oh my god.
I'm not lying. I want Golden Girls. This isn't a
Seriously.
haha funny thing. Yes, it would be hysterical, but I legit day one
It
would buy
be
a Golden Girls skin.
amazing. It would be amazing.
It's
There's not enough old people characters too, by the way.
Hi, Burner Cheese. Tuxedo Mask. That's his name. Thank you, SD. The guy from Sailor Moon is called Tuxedo Mask. Yes. Fortnite will be around for a very long time, so maybe at some point someone will do. Someone will be like
Literally,
3 people
run
are
out
asking
of
for Golden
everything.
Girls. Yeah, we got nothing else to do here. I mean, look, that
Oh.
Golden Girls stage show is going on right now, unofficial. It's 4 guys in drag that play the Golden Girls, and they do their own original episodes, and it looks great. I would love to see it. So
Just wait for like a Golden Girls reboot or something, and then they'll do it.
and you'd end up being the reboot skins.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, maybe the reboot will be good. Who knows?
But here's the question: how old would the Golden Girls be in the reboot? Like how they
Our
weren't?
age.
They weren't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
right. Like
That's so.
Well, they
funny.
were like what 50s, 60s when they were filming it.
were they?
Ma was like the youngest of
She
them
was
all.
the youngest, which is so funny.
And
Acting.
Dorothy's back bling would be a pussycat, of course.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think of specific back blings for each character. Blanche was promiscuous. What would she have? Condom, a dildo. What would Rose have? Something from Saint Olaf, or maybe they'd all have cheesecake. They like cheesecake.
Man.
Yeah, there's something I saw a really funny TikTok from those guys who do the drag Golden Girls show. And it was like, of course we're Golden Girls in drag, one of those, doing the meme. But they were like, of course there's Golden Girls in drag, or of course we're Golden Girls in drag. Of course there's only 3 seats at the table. And I was like, oh my God, that's true, because the camera was there. There's 4 people in that house, and they only have 3 seats at the table. That's why someone's always standing around. I was like, the things you never think of, because the camera's there. But Golden Girls, dead serious, make it happen. You know what? That guy from Epic talks to me all the time. I'm gonna email him this week and be like, I'm just putting this out there into the ether.
I mean, I wonder who you'd
It's
have
already
to
been
talk
out
to
there. I mean,
about that. But like,
right?
whoever owns the rights to Golden Girls is probably not doing anything, right? Like to get a bunch of cash to just put it in Fortnite?
You might have to
Thank you,
deal
Ice
with
Dilbert.
the estates or the families of every.
I don't know, but I'm legit going to tell him. I don't expect it to go anywhere, but we have a good enough conversation where I can talk to him and be like,
I bet
"We
you.
need this."
I bet you every week he gets some crackpot being like, "You gotta put this in the game."
You know,
or
if he
something.
does, he's either new at his job and it hasn't worn him down yet, or he's like legitimately loves his job, because I talk to PR people all the time. He's one of the few that I will say like will always respond very quickly, gives you more than just a yes, no, gets into conversations back and forth. So he's enjoying what he's doing. So he's going to hear about Golden Girls this week. I'll email him this week. You have my word. And I will tell you his response, whatever
And
he says.
I would say, I just thought of this right now. You think Golden Girls will never happen. This will never happen. But in a second, I would own it, and it would be my skin forever. Rick Steves. If they made a Rick Steves
If you could think
with a
that's less
Chivita
likely
day
than,
pack,
than the Golden Girls, it's going to be Rick Steves.
where he's got a Chivita day pack, and then I don't know what maybe like a
A sensible rucksack, of course.
yeah, I'm trying to think of what his pickaxe would be. Maybe a camera, so you could go photo.
walking,
yes,
like a
camera.
walking stick.
Oh, maybe a walking stick.
Yeah,
That's
walking
not bad.
stick's not bad.
Yeah, he's used them many a time.
But yeah, man, that would be amazing.
Thank you for that great question, Rosemary. And they also say, side note, I blame you guys for the 900 plus hours of Fortnite that Freddie and I have played since Zero Build came out. We influenced my sister to play with us, and we've all spent too many V-Bucks on emotes. It's been far too much fun. We have spent too much quality time being sweaties together. Rosemary, I can't tell you how much I love hearing that. Zero Build really, we played Fortnite when it was Build, obviously, but Zero Build really opened it up to a lot of people. And knowing that you took our word and like you listened to us playing and all the fun we were having, and now you're doing that with your family and friends, I can't tell you how good that is to hear. It's awesome to know you're in there playing. And like Du and I often say, we're playing, we're having a blast, we're enjoying the game. What we're BSing, and it's just an excuse to talk to each other. It's like a party chat the whole time. We're talking about what we're watching and what we're playing and what we're eating and what all kinds of stuff, whatever we did during the day. And
Really, like it saved my life in a way, I think, because I live alone. Do you live alone like I do? Well, there's stuff you can do to make it not so awful.
no lonely times.
Yeah, like seriously, we play so often that it feels like I'm seeing my friends often, and we talk about, we don't have to catch up. We're talking, like you said, about the dumbest stuff, about everyday stuff, and it just is like having a conversation. And man, I would probably be really, really lonely, I think, if we weren't playing Fortnite.
I mean, it's we don't play every day, but we play a lot. We play multiple times each week, and it's like a solid hour and a half where we're playing. So let's say 3 days, and that's low, probably 4 days is better. 4 days of playing, hour and a half, like that adds up to a ton of time with friends where you're talking, just shooting the shovel and whatever. It's great because you're not like, you're playing a game and you're talking. So you're not like just focusing on one thing. It's all coming together. And obviously what happens in the game lends itself to other conversations too, but it's just great. So Rosemary, so glad to hear you and Freddie are having a great time with it and that you got your sister in on it. We've got a lot of friends in on it. I play with my mom and my sister and my cousins and their kids. And yeah, it's great. It's absolutely great. So thank you and enjoy. And I hope that becomes 9,000 hours in the near future. We also have a Patreon question. Hey, dude, did you know you could join the Patreon?
For $1.
Thank you, Billy. Grantimus did, and I have this question. Hi, GN crew. I just bought Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition, and a Mummy Demastered as part of a crazy sale, which cost me in total $5.
Wow.
That's a way forward sale, my friend.
Wow. I am impressed.
This was on Steam, they say. Why doesn't Nintendo have amazing sales like this? And why does every Switch game cost $40 at its cheapest? I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear your thoughts. Thanks. They do. I mean, there's way forward sales all the time on...
There are some sales, but...
Or wait, are they saying, why doesn't Nintendo have amazing sales like this? Nintendo first party they're talking about. Oh, okay. They don't. You are correct.
Because people pay that money.
Yeah, because Nintendo, for a very long time, and I think it was very much instilled in them through Iwata, the idea of not devaluing your work, your content. Like, they feel their games are worth that price, and that doesn't degrade just because somebody's playing it later. They'll do a 30% discount, or I think at most a 33% discount. That's Nintendo enacting it themselves. Other retailers can do whatever they want.
They'll do a release later down the line at $20 or something, right?
Oh, well, they will never.
Like older games, like
they used to have their player's choice line. They don't do that
is.
anymore,
Oh.
so that's not a thing. But
have they haven't done that since the Wii, I guess, or Wii U maybe. And maybe they did have the Wii U to try to like get some sales on.
No,
the Wii?
they even didn't do it with the Wii. Because they know or they believe their content is worth that price. I'm one of the weirdos that agrees with them, and I think the industry has a devaluation problem with games because, Senua's Hellblade 2 just came out, and people are like, a 5-hour game for $50? No way, man. So, people aren't buying that. So I do agree with Nintendo on the valuation of games because I don't look at games as games. I look at them as art, and, same as with movies or anything like that. Just because a movie came out 30 years ago doesn't mean I don't think it's still worth $20 or $30 or whatever. Same with games.
Like
and games
20 years ago, it was cheaper to go see it then.
Buying, I mean, now I'm saying if you buy a game in 2020 or a movie in 2024 and it's $30, but it's a movie that came out 20 years ago, I think that's fine. And games, tons of hard work and tons of people work on movies, but games, it's even more people and even more time. Like, it's insane. So
unless it's a game made by one person.
Unless it's a game that's made by one person. But look at Stardew Valley, made by one person, 7+ years to release that game.
Right. And the same thing with even Animal Well.
Very long time for that game too. Yeah. All I care for me to feel my money is worth, I have to enjoy the game. I don't need a certain amount of hours out of that game. The game itself just has to bring me joy. And if it brings me an hour of joy or 30 hours of joy, doesn't matter. But a lot of gamers today feel like the price is directly related to the amount of hours they get out of the game. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying I don't agree with that personally. So if you feel you can spend $50, you want 50 hours, you spend your money how you want. That's totally fine. But yes, Nintendo worries about the valuation of games and devaluing their properties, which is why they don't do that. The lowest they go, I believe, is 33%. And that's for limited time. But again, other retailers do their own thing. So you can get cheaper prices on Nintendo games. You just got to keep an eye out. But yeah, I'm one of the crazies that sides with them. But I would never begrudge anyone because they don't want to spend the money on a game that isn't as long for whatever value they think it should be there. So
I think the best deal that they have, which I wanted to bring this up. I was listening to a podcast and you guys were talking about best-selling games or something, and you said Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Switch is best. But
that also isn't a pack-in, especially during the holidays. It's always a package deal, a bundle. You guys didn't talk about that bundle. Which I'm sure sells because that's the best deal.
Oh, that's the one they've done
since Switch.
The Switch started.
Full price Switch, but the game for free.
That's the only bundle they've done since the beginning of Switch to now. They've cycled in other bundles at holiday season. That's the only one they've done every year.
And I think that definitely helps boost the sales. Going back to podcast,
the sucker keeps moving millions of units
but
every quarter.
That's not selling millions of Switch bundles. But it's definitely helping.
It might sell 1 million by the end of the year, 1 to 2 million.
But that deal is only available during the holidays. I feel like, right? Like you can't get that all year
you
long.
get a holiday window.
There's probably residual.
Like October to January,
right?
Something like that. Speaking of that, didn't make it the top story. Wanted to talk to you about it though. Resident Evil 6 on Switch sold 1 million copies.
Resident Evil 6?
Resident Evil 6 on Switch alone sold 1 million units.
That's a terrible one. That's like considered one of the worst ones,
That's
right?
why I posted a story about it, because I was like, what is most commonly known as the most divisive Resident Evil game has sold 1 million units on Switch. So it shows why Capcom keeps re-releasing those games. Now people aren't paying a full price there. I'm sure there were deals for like $20, $10.
Wait, what makes that one the most divisive?
It was right before Capcom was like, we really need to shake up Resident Evil. So they had 4, changed the franchise forever. They did 5, or it was like
5 was
it's fun, but
it was 5 multiplayer.
Yes. It was fun and it was good, but it was like we did this in 4. Then it was 6, and it was like, this is no.
It was
is
the
like-
exact same thing as 5, right? Wasn't it?
No,
it was even
it was
worse.
worse.
Yeah, like
the story was worse. The game, like the level design was worse. It was just, I remember playing that demo and I was like, what's going on here? This is really bad. So after that, Capcom was like, oh, okay, let's do a reset. And then they did 7 in first person, and great idea. So yes, the most divisive, but I guess the deal was just too good for people. So 1 million sold on Switch alone.
Maybe with just the name, if they don't know anything about it and it's a deal.
Resident
and-
Evil name and a discount. You're right. People would be like, I'm going to spend $10 on this, even if it's bad. How much is it? It's going to be $10.
Well, they
worth
might
it.
not be thinking that. They probably like, I played the Resident Evil 4 remake and that thing was awesome. Let me get this Resident Evil
Yeah.
6 for $10.
I'd love to know what the other Resident Evil just re-releases did on Switch sales wise. I'd love to know what 4 did, and I'd really love to know, is Code Veronica on Switch? The
Probably.
red-headed stepchild. For some reason, Resident Evil 6. Let's see if it's on sale right now. 08 19 1982. $20. It's $20 regularly priced. So if it's on sale, yeah, it's got to be $10 or something. And people might have their gold points and they're like, I got gold points I could put towards this. Why not? And there's a demo to download too. So I guess some people are playing the demo and they're like, I want more of this.
Weird.
Let's see if Code Veronica's on there because I don't know. Code Veronica. It's not.
Oh, that's,
Why?
That's surprising.
Why put it? You think Zero's on there?
I do.
Resident Evil 0. Unless I spelled it too terribly. Resident Evil 0. Maybe if I put the number.
Because the Resident Evil
Yes,
remake
is
is
there.
on
I had to
there.
put in the
Okay.
number. It's there. $20 for that as well. Now that's a good one. I heard a rumor that Resident Evil 1 is being remade again.
Man,
And it's
really
from
don't want
legitimate
that.
sources. So I'd say it's definitely
I don't. Why? Why?
because it sold so well the first time.
and the second time. Like
But come on, man. That was 20 years ago. That was a GameCube.
it's great. It's great. It's still great. I just played it last year. It's great.
No, it's not. The graphics are bad.
No, the graphics are really
They're
good still.
bad. The original
Oh,
game
don't do
is
it.
so ugly. The remake is hideous. We need a new one.
I don't get it because they're gonna. It's not gonna be tank controls. They're gonna change it up. It's gonna be different.
We need a new remake
No,
of
we
it.
don't.
Yes, we do. And then 10 years from now, we need another remake of it. We need it.
Man,
The people need it.
this is frustrating.
The games get ugly, and when they get ugly, that means they're bad. We can't play them anymore because they're ugly.
They're Leo decapping all these games.
There you go. Walt Dingbat says 2 out of 10 graphics must upgrade. And Right Off Defect says, hey, dude, don't worry. We're going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake next. There you go. Boy,
Yeah,
Square Enix
exactly.
in some trouble with that, man. I wrote about that on Patreon, as I said last week. I don't know what they're going to do. They got another remake to put out, and people aren't buying this one to the degree that they thought they would. Not that it's doing horrendously, but enough to shake up their business profile, that's for sure. And that's all we got today. We got no music and nothing else, I'm sure. So we'll just end the show.
Oh, we actually something. Something's come across the old desk.
Do skinny bee.
Ladies and gentlemen, spiders and flies of all ages
Whoa.
have come to me with their information for rumors of the week. Why is this always so difficult to
I'm not
talk
gonna
about
lie.
this? I hate it.
It is my favorite part.
It's-
How every week it seems
don't
like
know
you
why.
remember less of
I
what you do.
forget how to talk. I don't know what it is. Deux views. It's never news. Rumor of the week with Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following our podcast, you know
I thought it was starring Do Michaels.
there is a section at the end of the podcast right around now where I bring to you rumors that are brought to me from spiders and flies throughout the video game nation.
Oh, the nation.
So
We are the nation of
So-
domination.
we just talked. Okay, actually, one thing about these rumors, though, is that they're always rumors. Except this time, for some reason,
Holy crap.
today is the day that we've got actually a true story here.
If you're listening today, it's your lucky day.
It's a very lucky day, and you're about to find out. So, in this rumor, that's true. You might have remembered earlier in this podcast we talked about Sony and how they finally reminded us about the extra PlayStation 2s that they sold. They just forgot to bring it up, but now, the Switch is doing well again. Oh, well, hey. Well, guess what? When they were digging through their numbers to find that PlayStation 2 number, they also found another best-selling, amazing award for all time.
Another
that they forgot to talk about.
best-selling, amazing award for all time. Just want to make sure everybody's got that.
So they found out that their old mascot, Crash Bandicoot, is actually the most popular and most recognizable mascot for video games of all time. They just found that out. So they're saying it, and it's true. So
it's odd that Sony would say that because it's not their mascot anymore.
Well, they're saying
never
from back in the day when they had that on there. Hey man, I only report the truth when it's a rumor form.
So you're saying Sony actually just claimed Crash as their own too? Like
hey, remember Crash? That used to be only us, and I know it hasn't been like that in 20 years, but it
bigger deal than Sonic, bigger deal than Mario,
than all of them, bigger deal than Qbert even.
Wow. And he's cursing up a storm about it.
Bigger deal than that Pitfall Adventure guy.
Yeah, this is a radical defect. This is crazy because you're right. Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard now, which is where the Crash Bandicoot license lies. So you'd think Sony want even less reason to talk about it, but
no.
This is truth. We know it to be gospel, so it is what it is.
Golly.
Hell yeah.
Sony just wants to keep retroactively securing those trophies and accolades for themselves.
That's why they're also. That's why they took on the Legend of Zelda movie too, so that they can say we've got the most popular Legend of Zelda.
That's right.
Situation.
Our Legend of Zelda made more money than any Legend of Zelda ever.
Right.
Legend of Zelda. Oh, that's our franchise. This one's for the Crash Bandicoot fans out there. They talked to Crash about this mind-blowing accolade, and he was quoted as saying, "Whoa!" So there you go. All right, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Anybody got anything? We're good?
No, obviously.
We're done here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Oh, I need this. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
We got Aftershow. I talked a lot here. Do you guys got anything you want to talk about? Aftershow.
Yeah, can you tell us anything about 1000 Resist?
Radical Defect and myself could talk about it forever.
But is it a good game?
It is the greatest game. It is. Well, here, I say this with zero pressure. I will not pressure you about it. Are either of you going to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1000 Resist? Yeah, I'm going to check
it
out.
But let it be known, not because I watched the trailer with accolades.
You listen to my accolades.
Your accolades.
Which
was much longer than a trailer.
Here's the sad part. I don't know if they'll have enough outlets talking about it to make an accolades trailer. They'd have to do like an internet comments trailer.
There's accolades in the trailer already.
Well, there's the IGF like nominated stuff. Yeah.
Well,
what does that mean?
When you see those little, whatever those
Radical Defect is saying he's willing to gift the game to both of you. Not even joking.
No. I am willing to put my money.
Radical Defect has in his heart what I do about this game. We are simpatico on this one. It is man,
damn generous, but I'm gonna play it regardless.
Yeah. My only recommendation to both of you is do not brute force it. Do play it however you want, of course. Do whatever feels right for you, but I'd say a chapter or two at most, and take a break at least for a bit. Chapters are long. It's not like they're short.
How many chapters we talking?
There are 10 chapters. Like I said, I think it took me somewhere in between 10 and 15 hours. Oh, there's stuff I didn't even say. This is why Aftershow. The voice acting is some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in the game. Name people. I don't know any of them.
Now I'm nervous because the other game that you talked about that you really loved the voice acting, I played it and I was like,
what game?
That water one. Wave.
Oh, well, I love the main character's voice acting in that game.
Wavetail.
Yeah, I think that main character is perfect, and I think the grandma is phenomenal. I think for what I want, they are perfect. But it's very clearly a style. Yes, this is regular people talking. Like nobody's playing. I don't want to say nobody's playing a character because that was
also. I feel like I felt 100% the way that they recorded that. They were not like interacting with anybody. They were recording it in their own homes in that instance because of COVID and stuff like that. They had limitations.
Yeah.
And I feel like I felt that 100%. But when I also came off of your, raving about it, and I was like, I don't
see,
feel
like
it.
I would say Cowboy Bebop has excellent voice acting, but it's for
The live
that
action?
kind of thing. No, I wouldn't say
Uh-huh.
anything about that was excellent. Cowboy Bebop's voice acting in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be talked about. In that anime, for what it does, I find it to be very good. One of the best voice casts for anime, certainly. But yes, the voice acting in this, I will say, there were multiple times in this where I was like, these people, like, I don't know who they are, but they're like, you really feel what they're saying. Like, there's certainly personality types and certainly vibes to people, but no one said anything that came off stilted or like a reading where you're like, that ruined the line or anything like that. It's very good. It's very good. I meant to give props to the voice actors and I forgot. Man,
I was gonna say earlier, because we were talking about what the heck were we talking? Something I don't even know. Never. This is stupid. I played a couple of weeks ago. I went back and played the Stanley Parable a little bit more, and there was this whole section where I ended up inside the game of Firewatch, and then also
Oh, that's cool. Same developer, I guess, or
it's not. I think it's like a tie-in maybe with the
that's interesting.
publisher or something somehow.
I don't remember who published either of those.
Sometimes indie games
will
they
pat each other on the back.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
could just be a
but
nod
like
to them.
basically the narrator's like, he's like, what, you don't like this game? And like he puts you through this thing and he's like, well, try a different experience. And you like open your eyes and you're in the watchtower, but then like you walk down and you start to like explore, and the narrator's like, how can anybody like this? Free roaming? Just do what you want?
Yeah.
Like, and as you're walking, like walls start popping up and he's like, no, you can't get out. This is not. And then he goes into Rocket League, which is the other one that
Another great voice acting performance. That guy kills it.
yeah.
Perfect for Radical Defect. I saw you were typing something. I didn't want to leave you hanging, but
But he basically like drops, like you're on the Rocket League pitch field, and he like starts dropping soccer balls, and like you can kick them into the goals and stuff. But yeah, 1000 resist. I gotta leave.
it's magical.
Can't resist. 1000 resist.
It's magical. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I think I've said more than enough, but I hope if anybody listened to that, and does try it, I hope you find it to be at least somewhere in the ballpark of what I said. I just hope you enjoy it in some way, shape, or form.
That's so like, I don't know. I experience things very differently. And also part of the way I've been experiencing them is I have like this stunted
Mindset?
process or whatever. Like what did I say before? Like my comprehension seems a bit off. Like years and like decades after playing Max Payne, somebody said something about like how like
It's short for maximum pain.
no
Oh,
that like he was the one that did it in the first place or something. And I was like, wow, missed that part of the story. And it's like a key part of the thing. So where the heck is my brain if that's what I'm missing?
Well, the good part is this is not action based and you don't have to rush through it. So you move at your
no,
own
it's not
pace.
about rushing. It's just about comprehension of story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't comprehend something, go have the conversation
But
again with somebody.
the way I've been experiencing things, I after doing it, I go and listen to other people's breakdowns, and it validates things. So then that brings me to the curse. Did I tell you about this? Apparently I think this is what they did. They did a screening
You did tell me
at
about
Lincoln Center
Yes.
where the creators were doing Q&As after every episode, and like so validated some of my things, but like I don't know, I like getting other people's opinions rather than just depending on my own. If I know like it, I'll experience things and be thinking about it in some way, shape, or form weeks, months, and years later,
Yeah.
then it was important. But like, I don't know, I've been experiencing things lately and just been getting hit really hard with where I stand on it and like the intentions or like, you know, the meaning of it. I don't know. I put too much importance on different things.
No, I think that's good, and that changes as time goes on.
No,
too,
but I'm
so-
putting the importance on like my inability to comprehend it.
Yes, I will agree with that. You are way too rough on
But-
yourself.
There's a lot of things that are smarter than me.
That's everybody. We'll end this with Radical
A lot
Defects
of
comment.
people.
He says, I sit here sometimes and wonder if people are going to set their expectations too high if I call it one of the best narratives ever, period. But nah, the more I think about it, the more I listen to other people who've played it using even loftier words than I did. I'm like, nah, most people who play this will at least get something out of it. And I think that's the best way to look at it. I would be shocked if anybody played this game and didn't at least get something out of it, because there's plenty of somethings to get. So,
Well, that's like for me. You left it at that. Thank you, Radical Defect.
now leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Go play some games, rest, relax, hang out with friends and family. You deserve it. We will see you next week. Mom Brain will be here, and that's all we got. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
And we